we're live!
Where's your dinner?
And Xena is looking for her dinner.
Oh my god, where's your dinner?
Because you hit it.
Good girl. You found your dinner.
Alright. So we're running a little late today because, we're always running late. We're always running late. There's always reasons. Anyway, we haven't set up the game yet. That's how late we are. But that's, like, the camera didn't, I did things to the laptop since the last time we streamed, and so it, like, forgot all the settings that I had, and so I had to reset up everything, and I wasn't anticipating having to reset up everything. So, I did that. But we're going to set up Lisboa, and I'm going to show you how to set up Lisboa while we do that. Oh. Okay, so... Lisboa. Steve went ahead and already pulled the giant board out. It's a big board. It's 6-fold. It takes up our table a lot. So there's that. And then there is an additional board, which is for the decree cards, which we're actually going to... we're going to slot right here for our purposes. And then, if you have the Kickstarter edition, the deluxe edition of Lisboa, I've had a lot of caffeine today. You are going to have another board, which is this skinny thing, which is for 2-player only. So, oh, it's magic. Oh, the camera is flipped. Oh my goodness, everybody, this is crazy. Hang on. I will fix everything here in this magic moment. Okay, well now it's even worse.
When you say you had a lot of caffeine, can we quantify the amount of caffeine?
It's been, I don't know, like 3 cups of coffee today, I think. I think 3 cups of coffee.
Didn't we just watch the Friends episode about this?
No, well, like, Chandler was drinking a lot of coffee, but I don't think that was necessarily...
I think he didn't
I don't
remember.
think the episode was about how much coffee... The episode was not called The One Where Chandler Drinks a Bunch of Coffee, which you don't know that about Friends yet. Every episode is called The One Blank, and, like, it's a thing.
Right. There was a point where he couldn't remember how many cups of coffee he drank.
Because Phoebe, I know way too much about Friends. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna fix the camera. Oh, much better. Okay, so then I'm going to give Steve this stack of buildings. And we're playing 2 players, so there's going to be some extras. But, Monsieur Steve, could you please put one of these buildings on each of the color sections over there, and then have a little stack of 4 buildings beside the board. You're going to have some buildings left over.
Yes, Madame Tiffany.
And then these are the little tiny half buildings that go on the bottom of the teal section.
There's 4 in the stack?
Yes, and then 1 on the board of the color. Then the little mini deck of cards you're going to take, and they all should be the same decrees. There are some cards in this mini deck that aren't for 2-player, but you don't worry about celebrate. Basically, if they come out in the market, just take them out and replace. Don't worry about going through the deck and sorting. That's awful.
It's sorted.
Yeah. What? So you're going to take the little mini deck of cards, you're going to put it there, and you're going to put 1 face up. Oh, I didn't get any 2-player cards. I can't show you what that means. Alright, so then you're going to take the good tiles, which are like the really beautiful colored discs, and you're going to put them someplace where everybody can access them. I just dumped them in one of these beautiful felt bowls provided by Netter's Plays for us. We love these bowls. They pack flat, and you can snap them together or slip them in a game box if you would like. They're very thick and sturdy.
Did you say there are Liz bowls?
I mean, we do more than just play Lisboa in them. But we also have one for the money. And the money in this game, they have singles, and then they have, like, grouped coins. Like, this is one piece that is 4. 5, sorry. And then there's, like, big ones that are 10, and they're kind of absurdly sized. So I just kind of put the singles and a couple of the 5s in our little bowls. And then, because we're playing 2-player, I don't anticipate needing all this money. I would love to be proven wrong, but it hasn't happened yet. So,
all the things.
okay. Then you're going to get out the player colors. I do player bags. I have a very tough decision. I always play yellow, but that's because orange is not usually available, and I love orange. So this game, I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to play orange. And Steve's usual color of blue is not available.
Because it is so prominent in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue everywhere else.
Not to make blue a player color.
So
totally
Steve,
understand.
do you want to be purple or green? These are life choices, because this is your color plus my color together, and it can be very symbiotic. Or this is your color plus red.
Which is the color of blood.
Okay, then. All right.
And royalty.
Yeah, okay. So everybody's going to do that in the player bags. There's some stuff, but we're not going to worry about that until we get player boards. And then there's, like, big cards. Big cards. Some of these are ship cards. So there are 4 different types of ship cards, and there are 3 of each type. You need the number of players minus 1 of each ship type. So because we're playing 2-player, that means 1 of the blue ships, 1 of the red ships, 1 of the purple ships, and 1 of the brown ships. And the rest of the ships can go in the box. Then there are decks of cards. There's a blue deck, a red deck, a purple deck, and a brown deck. I bet they go together with the ships. They do! Alright, so the blue and the brown, you're just going to put to the side. The blue and the brown ship, you're also going to put to the side.
The purple and the brown.
Sorry, purple and the brown. You're right. And then the red and the blue you're going to separate. Have somebody shuffle the blue deck, while you, the most important person, because you are setting up the game and you are knowledgeable about things, you are going to take the red decks and they're going to be sorted by different backs. And in the center of every card, there's a little symbol, and that symbol will match an area on the board over here. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to get the 5 cards of each type, shuffle them amongst themselves, put them on the denoted symbol. So for this one, da-da-da-da-da, there we go. Shuffle this one, do that, and then shuffle that, and put that there. And then the red deck is set up for the first round, and then you're going to flip the top card of each of the decks. Coolies. I don't know why when they do this, oh, there's an extra decree card. I don't know why they just aren't like, just keep the whole deck this way. I guess it's so you can't like see what's coming after you've drawn. Like, that's my best guess, but
that makes a lot of sense.
You're going to take the Rebel bag, which if you have the deluxe edition is like crushed velvet, which is actually one of my least favorite textures in the world. I hate it. It gives me chills, but it's got a nice print. And you're going to take the cleric bag, or the, I don't think it's the clergy bag, that's it. You're going to put those out. Then you're going to take these horizontal tiles. These are the building tiles. And there are 2 types. There's a type with a green dude right there. Fancy green dude. And then there's a type with a blue dude right there. How amazing. And you'll notice that on the one side it's a blue dude and on the other side it's a green side. Hi, Abby. So you're going to take all of them. You're going to make sure they face the same way. So all green or all blue. You're going to shuffle them, and then you're going to divide the stack in half evenly again, and make half of them blue and half of them green. And you're going to put them on the cat. So you're going to put them over... Abby, could you scoot away? I don't think that'll work long term. There's a little spot over on the board where they fit perfectly. You're going to put them over there. Sorry, this is not an Abby-friendly game. It's going to be a problem. But you're going to make sure they're even, and you're going to put the blue sides up on the blue stack and the green on the other.
And we're just doing one.
Yeah, so then you put the top one of each deck out. So this one you can see what's coming, which is great. Coolies. This pocket is all the deluxe stuff, which I'm going to talk about very briefly, but we're not going to use. So there is a deck of cards that has an A side and a B side, and these are basically tasks that give you something to work for if you just are like, I have no idea what I'm doing in this game. So they're really helpful if you're playing with new players, to give new players kind of an advantage. Like, you just give them to the new players, and there's rules for that if you have this deck. And then if you want some variance in your city, which is this section right here, there are little tiles that you can put out randomly to change what this map layout looks like for when you've played the game a whole bunch. And then these tiles have something to do with something, and I'm not sure what. So yeah, they're on the Kickstarter stuff if you have that, but we're not playing with that. The last thing we need from this box is this section. There are 4 little arrow thingies that have wigs on them. These wig symbols, that is the victory point condition. And so you're going to shuffle them. And you're going to put them 1 on each of the 4 spots at the bottom of the streets in the like city map area. I realized, I'm like just now realizing I'm so concerned about setup, I haven't talked about what this game is.
I was going to ask you to go into that after you did setup.
Yeah. So this game is Lisboa. It's by Vital. I don't know how to.
I believe Lacerda.
Lacerda. I call him Vital. He's the designer of the Gallerist, Vinhos, and CO2, and Kanban, and a few other things. But this is his latest title that released, and it's about the rebuilding of the Portuguese capital after. Can you like pause? You're eating.
Oh.
We're on camera, yeah. It's about the rebuilding of the Portuguese capital after a horrific earthquake in the 1700s, which led to a horrible tsunami, which then, the combination of the two, led to a fire that swept through the entire city. So they had a great time. So we are, in this game, rebuilding the city, and we gain wigs, which are like the prestige of that era, by doing various things like building shops and gaining favors of the king and using our influence to like do things like build public buildings and things like that. Each one's free, but that's what we're doing in this game. So in this section of the board, which is covered and not visible right now, you have the map of the city, and then the other side you have the court, which you haven't even been able to see yet. So Steve's gonna go free Ichi. And can you turn on the light and aim it, swivel it around so it's facing our way? And then I will finish setup. Also, hello, chat. Yeah, Abby is in the Deluxe edition. She's in the Deluxe edition of a lot of them. And we were joking when we were playing this the other night. Oh, if you're playing 2-player and you have this board, you're going to put this right here on the bottom row. If you don't have this board, the extra buildings in the box, that's going to fall if she gets in that. You can just put along that row so it blocks it. Also, I just need to pause. I just need to pause for a hot second and take a picture of how gorgeous Abby is right now, because she's sitting very pretty. Okay. So there are some tokens. This is the treasury token, which I believe in the non-deluxe versions is just a white block. You're going to put it on the 3 marker. Then there are, if you have the non-deluxe version, there are 4 discs of these matching colors. You're going to put them on these are the trackers for what the value of goods are, and you're going to put them where they are pictured over here on the goods price chart. And then the very last thing is we have these, which are the plans that belong to the architects that are over there. The blue ones, these are for starting players, so you're not going to do anything with those yet. But all the other ones, you're just going to shuffle up. No, you're not. Sorry. Don't shuffle them. Don't shuffle them. I take it back. You're going to sort between the green and the blue stack, and then within each stack, you're going to make sure that the number of, like, busts, like dudes, little tiny dudes, are in descending order. So you can see there's the picture of the architect, and then there's busts. These are influence markers. Or, sorry, no. These are public official markers right there. Oh, come on, focus. It's not going to happen, everyone. But you can see there are more of them. That is the cost of the thing. And then you are going to put the, thank you. You are going to put these stacks of architects over where they belong over there. And
on their faces.
On their faces. And then you can shuffle up these blue starting ones and just give each player one right now and then put the other ones not used back in the box. I'm just going to do right now even though we don't have Player boards, because player boards are hidden under the trays. There are 4 player boards because this game can go 1, 2, 4 players. And then you just need the ones that match the color. They're all identical. Colors just for pretties, I guess, to help people remember who is who. So we need our player boards.
Do you know that it's trash night?
It is trash night. I'm impressed you haven't barked.
Indeed.
There is your player board, my liege. Here is my player board. I have a cat where my player board is. I'm gonna play with the cat edition of the game. Oh, we were talking the other night when we were playing that in this game we need a kaiju kitty cube because she deserves her own cube. She destroyed Lisboa.
Her own form of destruction.
Yeah. Honey bun, you can't be here today. You cannot, nope. This is a game that you cannot do this on. I don't know what to do. Okay.
Has there been a trend of games doing these like punch-out boards?
Yeah.
And
It's a thing. It's nice. I like it.
So for this, the boards are, you can slot your stuff in there.
Take the blue and the red ship, put the blue ship on top of the red ship, and put them as a deck right here. If you have more than one of each, just do the 2 blue ships and then the 2 red ships. They're not shuffled. And then each player gets 1 of these starting contracts. And then the last bit of setup, you're going to destroy the city. We'll destroy the city in a second. Then this bag is the clergy tile bag. You're going to have all the clergy tiles in it. You're going to randomize, and you're going to put 1 of each out here, fancy art up, and on the like blue flowered spots. And then there should have been a Pope. Where's the Pope? Oh no, the Pope! I found him. Alright, there should also have been a wooden Pope dude. Put the Pope dude on the spot with the envelope.
The wooden Pope.
This bag you're going to need throughout the game, so you want to kind of just keep it handy. And then this bag has the destruction of Lisboa in it. So it's got inside of it a whole bunch of cubes. It's got red, brown, or blue cubes, which represent the different damages from the different natural disasters.
Not including the kaiju kitty. You know, the wooden Pope sounds like a good Sherlock Holmes mystery.
It would. We should write it. So you're going to put... There are, along the board, there's little squares. And you're going to put 1 rubble cube randomly in each of those little squares. Steve, please do that. Yeah. There are 3 for each street down here. There are 2 within these blue bordered areas along this side and that top side. And then there are an additional 3 right here. And then there are 2 more in these blue tiled spots over on the side. And then you're going to put 6 just like randomly down here. That's extra destruction, you know, just in case. Yeah. Hey Charles, hey Nutters. So yeah, the art is by Ian O'Toole. Whoops. I thudded my hand down right on her tail. Yeah, no, this isn't a good spot for you. Maybe go in your box. Daddy put your box out for you.
Yep, she can survey the destruction of the city.
Yeah,
from the safety of her box.
Maybe go destroy the
so
city
it looks
from
like
the
a lot of flooding has come out so far.
It's not gonna happen.
Not a lot of fire.
Okay, there we go. It's just she's not gonna box for us. But player boards, I'm gonna do flip player board while Steve is still setting up that. So we're gonna use this camera right here.
The 3rd camera.
Which I don't know how the angle's gonna look. Hey, look! It's sort of my player board and also my crotch.
It's like we're just sort of hovering.
There you go.
Over your personal space.
Yeah, personal space. All right, so in your player bag, you got a lot of stuff. Also, thanks to I think it was Vince that gave the suggestion of putting 1 of each good in the player bags because each player starts with 1 of each good.
Oh, thanks.
Which you're gonna put on the corresponding spaces in the warehouse. I'm going to fix.
Also, thanks also to Eagle Gryphon for
sponsoring
this stream.
I forgot to mention that.
Yes.
Thank you, Eagle Gryphon, for this. This stream is sponsored. There's crazy. I'll do better stuff later when I'm on camera. So you're going to do that. Then you have these bust dudes if you have the deluxe edition. Otherwise, I think they're just meeples. You're going to put them all in this slot down here. They're going to continually fall as you reach across the board for things, especially if you have a chest. Hey, didn't do it. There we go. So if you're a game designer and you're thinking of doing it, put these dudes up higher, like in the corner where they won't interfere with cleavage. Yeah.
Would you say this version of the game is busted?
I bust it. Okay, and then you're going to have 3 of these favor tokens, 1 in each color. You're going to just toss them in a lot with the other players, and you're going to randomly mix all of them up. So you put them face down, and you mix up all of them. And then each player gets 1. Hey, look, I got a blue.
I got a red.
And then the extra ones... did you put the 6? Yeah, we're done. Rebel's done. If you are playing with just 2 players, there will be spare Rebel. But the other ones you're going to put back on the board in the little squares where they match up. And then the other thing that you're going to do, ooh, that's not even a camera, on your player board is, you have all these little spots for houses. You're going to put, these are your shops. I call them houses. They're shops. You're going to put them on the board. And then there's little rubble markers. This is how good you are at fixing the city. And you put those there. And then you have 2 discs, which are for tracking your influence and your victory points. You're going to put your influence one. Is it in frame? It's just out of frame. You're going to put your influence tracker, whoever's going first, which will be me, on the 4. And then the wigs, everybody will put on the 5. And then Steve is going second, so he will be on 5 influence. And then everybody else has like a meeple, which is your representative. You're gonna put them. You're gonna put them on a spot up there. There's 4 spots. And then that bonus architect tile that you got, go ahead and put it in. Flip it over, see what you got. I got a green architect.
You got a blue architect.
So I put my green architect in the green stack right here, face up. And then everybody gets 2 clergy tiles from the bag and gets to keep 1. So you look at them and you're like, great, these are awesome. Clergy tiles are basically things that help you do stuff during the game if they're blue bordered on the bottom. And then there's this great player aid booklet. Look at this. It's a player aid booklet and everybody has one and it's all this helpful information about the game. And have you run away screaming yet? Because you shouldn't.
However, it is one of the first games that has mitigated my fighting with Tiffany over the rulebook during the game.
I love this.
Only after
so much.
Only after have I scoured the player guide do I reach across the table in Tiff's player area while she's taking her turn knocking over her busts to reach for the rules.
Yeah. I really like this player aid booklet. It's very helpful. I will show you with my handy-dandy player mat cam what is going on with it. So on the first page, you have the breakdown of all of the actions. These are like the summaries of the actions, and they'll only mean something to you if you know what the heck is happening. Then you have this very helpful guide right here that tells you how to do things. So if I want to know how to get more influence, it tells me, I just read the paragraph that says how to gain influence, and it tells me all the places in the game I can go to gain influence. If I have a whole bunch of money, it tells me where to go and spend money or how to get money and things like that. It's just fabulous. Then he's got a little section right here of designer tips, which I definitely recommend reading for your first game. They will not ruin the game for you and they don't give too much strategy. Then they're basically like, don't forget literally everything. That's what those are. And then the last 3 pages are just basically the appendices and the explanation of every single tile or card in the game. So this is basically the appendix, and everybody has their own copy of it in their hand, which is fabulous. And then on the back, it's just an even more concise rules summary. And so, love this.
You are well supplied to take on this game.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, I'm going to pick... The iconography, once you learn it, is really straightforward. This iconography, I can already tell you, means that when I sell cloth, I get an extra $2, or when I sell any good, I get an extra $1. So I'm probably gonna go with the one that's like good for everything.
Would you say that it's good for everything?
It is,
That
yeah. They also have a typo. Whenever you sell, each good is worth +1 real. I get more reality every time I sell with this one.
I don't know if I could handle.
I can't handle more reality.
A more Tiffany reality.
Yeah. So you're gonna do that, and hey, that's set up in 25 minutes with like camera things.
Don't forget them starting cards.
Ooh. Oh yes. Also, every player gets 10 money, which is Ria's. Raise. This is like too many fives. Just need to pull these out.
Fünf.
Fünf?
Fünf.
Is that German for 5?
Yep. Okay,
this game is Portuguese. So, if anything, it would be closer to cinco. So you're going to get 10 of money, and then the starting thingy, you get 4 cards. Yeah. So, from the blue deck, you deal everybody 4 cards, and then the other cards just go in the back of the box.
And then, so
because these are starting cards, and they're never
used for starting.
They're never used again. It's gone forever. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to play it, but I'm going to teach you how to play it very quickly. There are already several how to play videos out there, and I watched Gaming Rules' video, which is the official video.
Ooh, sorry, that doesn't.
It does not, no. And it was very helpful, but I will say that we had to watch it 3 times because the order in which he explained stuff confused me, because I had already forgotten things by the time he got to explain them further. So, yeah, but anyway, we're gonna start on this teach, and then while I'm teaching, if Steve could give me a Tylenol, that would be amazing. Can you give me 2?
Yep. Tylenol puts me in.
Yeah, I started having a headache at like 6, and it just has gotten worse. And I was hoping food would solve it, and it didn't. Okay, so we are rebuilding Lisboa, and by rebuilding Lisboa, we're going to get prestige points, which is basically tracked by how many wigs we have. In the deluxe version of Lisboa, you don't have a tracker on the board for wigs, you just get wigs. There's 100 wigs that come with the game, and you just put them on every time you score them. Okay, so in this game, basically, the way that we're going to get more wigs is we're going to physically rebuild the city over in the map section of the board, which is over here, and we're going to build shops of the 4 different types of goods that we will need to, that basically the city needs. By building shops, we're going to be removing this rubble that is left over from all the natural disasters. The more rubble we... Yeah, that's Tylenol.
Yeah, I think I always think ibuprofen is Tylenol because they both have I in the name.
Oh.
Like ibuprofen, Tylenol.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Oh, goodness. I also need more water.
How many would you like?
2. Por favor. Gracias.
Spending too much time on the field there.
Can I have water? Yeah. So, you'll also get points for removing rubble, and when you remove rubble, you are going to put it over in your player board area, and you're always going to put the rubble starting from the left and working right, and inside of these little holes, there's little colors that correspond to the color of the rubble. So this is my brown slot, this is my red slot. I already had a glass out with water on the counter. And then this is the blue spot, red slot, so on. So as I clear off rubble, I will put these cubes in the spot, and if I gain more, which I can do of a specific color, I build out. But when I manage to complete a column, my rubble cube color from the top of that column will go to the center of the board, right here on the marquee's face, which I enjoy doing. Thank you.
Marquee deface. I guess, or you're defacing.
No,
I'm not defacing,
I'm facing. And the significance of having taken that off is later in the game, you can use that token to help you get more decree cards, which are important because decree cards are basically like tasks, and they're these little mini cards that you'll pick up from the market, and if you complete the task on them, which are really straightforward for the most part, you get the number of wigs at the bottom. And the task cards are all described. So, for example, there's like a little tiny number on everything, and that number corresponds to some pages in the rulebook. So, for the decree card, that one is 43. So I know that for each rubble of that color, I get a wig. So this card, if I picked this card up, I would want to solve fire damage, because I would get more points with that. So those are decree cards, and later in the game, you'll use these rubble cube bonuses to help you get more decree cards. In addition, those rubble cubes, when you remove them from your player area, it increases your warehouse and your hand limit. Well, not your hand limit, your player tableau limit. So at the start of the game, every player has a limit of 2 cards in your tableau. We're going to be taking cards down, we're going to be taking cards up in this section. And we can do max 2 for our entire tableau. But when we remove this cube, we get to do an additional card. So for every cube that we manage to remove, we get an additional card. And those cards will help us throughout the game by giving us more influence or different player abilities and stuff like that. This warehouse is where we are allowed to store goods. At the beginning of the game, you can store max 2 goods of each type in the slot in the warehouse. But as you remove these cubes, you get +1 additional storage of each type of good. So you want to remove rubble. The game incentivizes you to remove rubble. And one of the fastest ways to remove rubble is to also build public buildings. So when you build shops out in the middle of the city, the shops let you only take off 1 piece of rubble. And the cost for building a shop is determined by how much rubble remains in that city. And we'll go over that when we actually do it. But public buildings are in special spots around the boards in these blue sections. And those ones, when you build a public building, you get the rubble from that one section. And it doesn't really cost anything. It doesn't cost anything financially. It just costs basically your officials, your public influence, which I just remembered a setup problem. If you're playing 2-player, you need to take 3 officials of a non-player color and put them 1 each in the office of one each in each office. So there are 3 offices of these 3 dudes with the faces, and you're going to put 1 of each. 1 in each. There we go. Whew. How many times have you played the game? Half of 1 time. Yay!
Yep.
Okay. So, anyway, public buildings. When you build public buildings, you don't claim ownership to them, so they're not going to help you benefit later in the game, like shops will, because shops can produce goods, which you can use those goods to get more money. But public buildings get you rubble fast, and they help give you a bonus, and they give you a bit of influence. They give you, not influence, but they help give you endgame points. Wigs. There we go. That word. The way that you build public buildings is these little architect dudes. So you need to have one of these architect dudes when you go to build a public building, and that says these are basically blueprints or plans for a public building. So you take 1 from your 2 decks, your slots, either the green architect or the blue architect, and you can pick any one that you have in this stack. You're going to get multiple. And then you take the public plan that matches the color. So if I did my green, I would take this public building because it's the green one, and then I would get to put it anywhere I wanted along this side or along this side. Or each public building has a little, ooh, that's the wrong camera, has a little banner at the bottom, which is a color, which corresponds to these streets. over here. That's again the wrong camera. These streets. So because this public building had a pink banner, I could put it up on the Rue Augusta because it's got pink in its banner and can go here, and so I could build on that spot. Some banners will have multiple colors, and in that case you get to pick. You could put them on, as long as the color is present, you can put it on any street. See, I knocked down my dudes again. It's a problem. It's a problem. But when you do that, the number of little representative bust heads on the architect plan, that's what you have to pay. And you pay them from officials that you have hanging out in the offices of the 3 head honchos, which you will put down throughout the game by doing different actions.
Presumably they're busy cutting red tape.
Yes.
Things.
Yeah. So let's talk about, that's kind of like how you get points and like significant things. You can also get points by owning ships and having people, including yourself, ship goods, which the person who ships the goods gets the money, but whoever owns the ship gets points. So that's nice. So it's like the primary way to get points. How do you do all that? Well, on your turn, you play a card from your hand.
That sounds easy.
You will always have 4 cards in your hand at the end of your turn. You draw back up from this face-up market over here. You play a card from your hand on your turn. You have 4 options for the actions that card gives you. And the funny thing is I really feel like you have 2 options, if we're honest. Because there are 2 types of cards. There are cards with politicians on them, and then there are cards with the treasury thing on them. So a treasury card has a picture of an action type, like that, and then the politician cards have a picture of a politician. And those are the only 2 types of cards. So you really only have 2 options per card, so you have 4 options total, but if you have a hand of politicians, you only have 2 options. So with politicians, you can play the politician to this center area here, which will let you visit that politician. You get to put your dude on it so you know that you're the one that played it, and then you get to go to that politician's spot. And right here at the bottom of the column where the politician is located, it's got the iconography of all of the actions you're allowed to do. So with this politician in the banner, you get to pick one of the 2 actions, and you can do that one. It's optional. You get to do one of these. The first action is buy a ship. To buy a ship for the marquees, ships are great. The top ship is the only one you can buy, and you can buy the cost to buy it, there we go, is the number of goods it can haul. So this ship can haul 1 good, right there. Easy peasy. If you already own a ship, you can upgrade a ship by paying the difference of the ship that you already have with what's on top of deck. When you buy a ship, you are going to tuck it into your tableau in one of the 3 upper spots. And so you tuck it so that you can see what the cargo limit of the ship is, and then how many influence points you will get for having that ship. And when you tuck the ship, you also score influence. So you look at all the cards in this upper tableau that have the little influence, which is the envelope thingy, and then you score that number of points on the dropper. It's really straightforward. That's how you get ships. That is the ship action right here. The other action right here is produce. This produces goods. All the shops that exist that aren't public buildings that you own, produce. That's all that is. It's very straightforward. There you go. Whenever goods produce, you decrease the value of that good by 1, no matter how many goods are produced. So if I have 4 bookshops, I will produce 4 books, but the value of books would only drop down 1. Okay? That's producing. You can do either of those actions. You can do one of those actions optionally when you visit that office. The action you must do if you visit that office is take a decree card. When you take a decree card, you just take a decree card. Then you put it publicly someplace in your tableau area. Decree cards are the cards that give you in-game points. So they're just like goals that you get up and run with. Like this one, I get a point for every red rebel that I have. This one, I get a point for every building built on the North Road, I think is what that one is. Yeah. Every building going north. Like, they're very self-explanatory. The player aid hasn't. You get those which give you points by going to that person. Then you have the... if you do that decree one, again, if you have tokens on the dude's face, when you get decree cards, you can discard the rubble to draw an additional decree card, which is great. If you have more than one rubble on his face, you can only discard one extra to get one extra decree. So that's that. Whenever you visit any noble, your opponents have the option to follow you. They have the option to barge into the office and be like, no, me too. So, the way they do that is those little crown tokens. There are 3 colors. If you have one of those tokens, you can discard it to follow the office action of that person. But when you do that, you only have one action that you can do from that office. And it can be any of the 3 possible for each office, but you only have one. So there we go. Let's see. I just want to start playing because I feel like it's better. In addition, whenever you go to an office, you have to pay an influence, and the influence cost that you have to pay is determined by how many people are in the office that aren't you. Mm-hmm. So you will have officials hanging out in this office, but when you go to visit that office, you have to pay an influence for every official that's hanging out in there that's not yours. So I would have to pay 1, and then if Steve followed me, he would have to pay 3 because he has no officials in here, and me and the ghost player have officials. So that's how you spend that. The other office actions, which are like the primary actions in the game, this one right here, 2 faces. This lets you put 2 dudes in the offices. So you get to take 2 of your dudes and put them in any offices you want. Woohoo! If there's not space for your dude in an office, you bump out one of the dudes of the player who has the most dudes in that office. And when they get bumped out, they just hang out here. They loiter in the lobby, basically. So that's what that action is. Super straightforward. Then we have the architect action, which is right here. It's the little architect thing. That one is super simple. You just draw an architect tile, either the blue or the green, from way over there at the top of the architect stock. That's all that is. Then the brick and mortar action is you build a shop. To build a shop, you pick what kind of shop you want to build. So you can build a gold shop, a fabric shop, a book shop, or a sea shop. And you pick the building up from where you're buying, because only one of each can be built every turn. And then you must build the building of that type on the street that matches. So there's a little notch, and which way you flip the building determines which side of the street it's on. But this teal one, the big teals can only be put here because of size reasons, but the little teals, they go on this side. Don't know why.
In the rules, there was a note that Vital the team wanted to make the city layout match the city plan of Lisboa, and I guess apparently that side, for whatever reason, doesn't have a block on the other side. Maybe it's at the sea, maybe there's a wall. Okay. So basically that is... Yeah.
Whenever you build a building, you gain the thing that you put over the spot, and then you get to take 1 piece of rubble from either the row or the column that the building is on. And then, after you take that rubble, I'm going to take this one, you have to calculate the price. You put the rubble in your board. You have to calculate the price to build the shop. And the price to build the shop is dependent on how much rubble is left in that row and column. So there's 1 fire and 1 water. So this is $3. And then earthquake cubes are $3 a piece. So I'm at 3, 6, 9, and fire is 2, so 11. So it cost me 11 Rias to build this here. If I decided that was a good idea, I would build it, and I put my little house on it to say, yes, I'm the one building it. When you build houses, there are bonuses for taking them off of your tableau. We'll talk about that when we get there. Steve's nodding off.
Do we have any caffeine?
There is cold brew in the fridge.
Okay, I think I need cold brew.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long day. So that's building shops. That's that action. Then the third person and the third dude's action is this one, the 2 optional actions. You have clergy staff. So this one, you move the Pope. So whenever you see this icon, you move the Pope. So you can move the Pope up to 2 spots, and he only walks on empty spaces, and wherever he stops, you gain one of the clergy tiles that is adjacent to him. And you gain the tile, and you put it in your tableau area where clergy tiles go, and the tile will grant you various bonuses either during the game or after the game, or instant benefits or things like that.
There was no Pope-mobile back then.
Yeah. When the Pope crosses any of the icons on his little walkway, things happen. Yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Then you have the crown, and this means that you just get one of these tokens from out here, which lets you follow people. You can only have 1 crown of each color in your tableau. Then the main action for this spot is build a public building, which I sort of already went over. So you discard the architect that you have, grab the top plan that's out on the board of that architect, put it on the street that you're allowed to, grab the rubble, you pay the number of officials that are denoted by taking them out of the office. If you can't take them out of the office, you pay the treasury amount, and that's that action. So yeah. Then at the end of your turn, you make sure you draw a card, so you have 4 cards in your hand again. You restock anything that you drew. You only restock at the end of your turn. And yeah, that is if you put a card here in the main center area. If you put a treasury card in the main center area, you just do the action denoted on the treasury card. That's it. It's that simple. No one can follow you by doing that action. You get to do it. So these are a little powerful because you don't have to pay. If there's certain fees, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay the influence fee of going to the office. You just get to do the action, and no one can follow it. It's great. Then the other way to play cards is to put them to your tableau, so you can have more than just ships. And this is super straightforward. So when you take the politicians, you tuck them in the top. Whatever you're covering up, whenever you cover up anything in this game, that's what you gain. So by tucking this politician under, I get a gold good. There you go. Then if influence is ever triggered by a ship purchase or something like that, I have envelopes that'll help me gain influence. Treasury cards, if you tuck them under here is where you're supposed to tuck them. You gain or do what is denoted at the top, which is always the same on treasury cards. You gain money from the bank that is equal to wherever the current treasury token is, and then you decrease the value of the treasury because they have less money now. But you will have a game bonus for as long as this card is out. You will have something that will benefit you for the rest of the game. So this one is I'd have to look up the number, but something costs less is what this is. So, yeah, I think things cost 1 less money for me.
I will say, we did only play the half a game, but the iconography is very consistent and very helpful.
Yeah, and it's really easy to be like, oh, I covered it up, I get it. The meat and bones of this game is visiting the politicians in their offices and doing the actions. The other way to do actions is when you tuck the card, instead of gaining the bonus that is denoted, after you tuck the card, there we go, after you tuck the card, regardless if you tuck a politician or if you tuck a treasury card, you have the option of either shipping goods or making a trade with a noble person. So by doing a trade with a noble person, you basically, see you nutters, to make a trade with a noble person, you have to give them one of the goods that they want, which is denoted at the bottom of the ribbon, and then you get to take one of the actions on that ribbon. That's trading with a noble. To take the sell goods action, you take as many goods as you want from your warehouses, and you put them on a ship that somebody owns, and you gain money equal to the current value of the goods for each good that you put on the ship. If you fill the ship up, the ship sails, and the person who owns the ship gets 1 point per good that was shipped on their ship. There we go. Okay, this stream has been 49 minutes long, and I have set up and I've talked.
Hey, my coworkers probably... Oh no, they did start their 7 continent game. I was gonna say that.
Well, the really funny thing is I really should have said this before, but I was so flustered. I'll do like a thing later. I might pull this down and do a thing. The official rules explanation is very concise and well done. It's 30 minutes. It took us 3 watches to do. But at this point, like, you could have watched it 3 times, I think. So, there we go. All right.
Oh, twice.
Woo! You start with 4 cards, I believe, in hand.
See, no licking the fish oil bottle.
Maybe she just needs some more oil in her diet. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think of that, Kyra's?
Kaiju Kitty!
Oh, it's 5 cards! You are right. Thank you very much. I said 4 cards. It's 5 cards. Every player gets 5 cards. What game were we playing? Oh, Harvest Island. Harvest Island, you always have 4 cards in your hands.
It's a very similar game.
It's so similar.
It's basically Lisboa by another name.
Sweet, I'm going to go first, and we're just going to talk through everything. And how did this already... Oh, it didn't have damage. Oh, no, it does have damage. It adds to the aesthetic of a damaged city. But, hey, check it out. We have a new camera thingy. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because of my new fancy laptop, we can do this.
What? Is this like streamer person cam?
This is streamer person cam. Look at us. We so fancy.
We're so fancy, so the fans.
The cat is rubbing her face on my hand. Okay. I'm gonna go. Oh, also another setup rule. I forgot. Everybody puts one of their dudes in the office of the marquee. Xena has energy. So each card, I just want to point this out, has flavor text, which is historical facts, which I love.
Is there an intermission in this game?
Is there?
Oh, there is. The first scoring period.
Yeah, there isn't. So we're going to play the game until either some number of these cards are gone or one player fills a complete row. Hey, look, I did it already because I'm cheating.
2 rows, but yes.
Well, and yes. 2 rows of rubble, and then we'll do like an intermediate scoring phase, and then we'll put out the brown and purple card. Yeah, brown and purple cards.
Face cards and ship cards, yeah. Or treasury and face.
Okay. So I have to say what I'm going to do. Oh, wow. There's so much history that's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, all of the cards,
cards.
They have a date at the time, the date that something happened that the card is referring to.
Right. I'm gonna go visit the marquee. And at the marquee, I'm gonna buy a ship because I always buy ships. Buy ships. So it's gonna cost me 1 good to buy a ship, and I think I'm just gonna pay ship goods to buy a ship because that makes sense. So I now have the 1 ship. I tuck it under. Because I tucked it under, I gain the influence for all of the cards on top of my influence row. So I will get 3 wigs. Or no, sorry, 3 influence. Boop. And then I am going to take a decree card. And I'm going to take the one... Oh. Some really good, like, base ones out right now. She's... Oh, something fell.
Oh, how? Oh no. Oh,
Steve's gonna die.
What?
Reach story. Hey, what did you just put in the back of my pants?
I didn't. This fell somehow.
Oh, okay. Did you get your 10 money?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's a really good one. Because it's like literally any color street. For each store from any player on the street in this color, earn 1 wig. But this card looks like it's every store. Oh no, it's blue.
Yeah. I will say, I think this game will get faster on subsequent plays as people learn the decree cards.
Alright, I'm gonna take that one. And then that's my whole action. So I replace the decree. Would you like to follow me, Mr. Kairos?
I cannot, because I only have pink follows. But I will take my turn.
The main board is upside down. Oh my goodness, thank you.
Oh.
Because this new camera. Table shot. Transform. Into Optimus Prime! Oh my gosh, that's so much better. Also, the corner over there is the cat's basket. She's definitely not going.
Now, one thing I could do in this game is I could always
Edward!
I could always make sure to play all of my cards in chronological order, if I so chose.
Oh yeah, the history from my card was that private enterprise works are forbidden in 1756. There's a lot of history. You learn a lot of history. $6 hours to learn and play the first game of this? Oh my gosh. I guess if you had to read the rules to yourself and there was no helpful video, like Edward's video, or Paul's video.
Alright, I think I'm gonna try this to start. In 1756, it was the founding of the Grão Para and the Maranhão Company in Brazil.
You're tucking.
I'm tucking.
You're tucking.
I'm tucking.
What do you get for tucking?
I get paper. The scrolls. Is that
it's
paper?
Cloth.
Cloth.
Yeah, I think you get cloth.
All right, I'll get a cloth. And then I will take an action. That action that I will take, which is not strategically great, is I am going to sell goods.
To my ship!
I will sell goods to your ship.
Okay, so you get $5. 5 reals. Rias.
Yep.
Rias. Yeah, it's
and
Rias.
then the price goes...
Nope.
Nope.
It's when it produces.
Yep.
But he filled my ship up, so it flips, and I get a point. Ein Punkt par me. Okay. Are you done? This should have talk. You done?
Yep.
Okay.
That's all. Yep. That's.
Oh, I forgot to draw a card at the end of my turn, and so did Steve. So.
Oh, jeez.
I am going to purchase. I'm going to pick up this card. And then this is flipped, and then Steve gets a card at the end of his turn.
I think I will take the Pink Gentleman in 759, Assets of the Society of Jesus.
Maybe
read
it. Yeah, when you play it. Cena is thrashing her toy under the table. So it's the beginning of my turn. My ship is full. My ship empties. Woohoo! I don't know if you get the point when your ship empties or when it fills, but there you go. I am going to. What does this card do?
I believe it's an empty, but it could go either way.
Ooh, whenever I need to spend money, I get $1 discount. Ooh, that's tempting. That is tempting. I think instead. Oh goodness. No, that's.
It's when the ship gets full. The limit of goods you can sell on the ship is determined by the ship's hull. If the ship is full, the owner of the ship flips the good and gets a wage per good. So it's only when the ship fills.
Okay.
But it is on that turn.
Okay. I'm gonna attack this card, which gives me the treasury payout, which is $3. So I get $3 to go in the private money stash, and then
really
the treasury thing goes down because they have less money because they paid me. And then this is the card that when I have to spend any money, I get $1 discount. Oh goodness! Ken pointed out I did my obligatory final countdown because every game I play, I think I do that, and I don't even. Yeah. Okay. Ugh. Because now I'm all self-conscious about it, but I am going to. I think I'm going to ship my gold. So I'm going to ship my gold on my ship to get 6
6 raise.
5 raise. 6 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 raise. Breeze.
I think Paul Grogan did pronounce it correctly in his
because A
rules
is
video.
So E is A, and I is E. So it's
Raíz.
You gotta have the ra.
Raíz.
And so that filled the ship, so I get a point. But it doesn't empty until the beginning of my turn, so Steve cannot ship. This should have been flipped at the end of Steve's turn. And then I get to draw a new card. I'm at my hand limit, or my tableau limit, so I think I'm going to take this one. And now it is Kairos' turn. Vinyl is totally having a resurgence. You can get Stardew Valley soundtrack on vinyl, which we don't have a record player, but if we did.
The original Terminator soundtrack re-release was also very good by, I forget the artist. No, I know.
You're like, oh, I know, I'm busy. Oh, yeah, my bonus is when I sell things, I get an extra buck. Yeah. So I should have gotten an extra buck for selling my good. Yeah.
Oh, that E card is removed in a 2-player game, the decree, which makes sense because we covered up the E row.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. I'm just busy counting my money. Oh, yep. That is the remove during 2-player game symbol, that little one right there.
Yeah, it's a little red 2 players in a red circle.
There you go.
Replaced by a very similar card.
Steve's turn. Need to have different things now.
I think. So good.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me how you really feel.
I think I would like.
Oh, wow.
I would like to build a public building.
So Steve is going to the king's office. You know that you don't have anybody in office.
I don't.
So
I have 1, right?
Oh yeah, you have 1. So you're gonna have to remove 3 officials. Otherwise, pay 2 per.
Right. However, because of my clergy card, all of my officials that I need to hire are 2 cheaper.
Clergy tile.
Clergy tile, yeah. It's I get a 2 discount, and because the treasury has moved all the way down to there.
You don't get a 2. It is a 2. Damn it! You had that last game.
I know. I got the same starting clergy tile in both games. I love
that. You're a jerk.
I am. Okay, so I'm building a public building. I started with a blue plan, so it has to be a blue one. So I must remove this one, right?
No, you could just pay for any of them.
No, I thought it said you have to.
Oh yes, you must, and then
you must remove, and then you may pay for the extras. Otherwise, it would be a little ridiculous. Okay, so I'll have to pay 2 per each. It's free for me, unless it's an unremoved one, but I don't think it is. Okay, and then I will choose the Egrella de Saint Nicolau. And I will place.
You don't really have a choice though, because you only have the blue architect.
Yeah. So I must place this building.
So you can place it on either the east or the west public strip, or you can place it on the pink or the gold ruas. Ruas. Yeah, ruas. At the top.
Yep, and then when you play this, you score the public building, but there's no stores.
There's no stores to score, so.
But I will get, if I place it there, I'll get a cloth.
And the rubble, which you put in your.
But If I place it here, I get a decree.
You decree that you get decree.
Let's say it's my decredence Clearwater. If my court has the most, or if I have the most tools in my warehouse.
Sure. I mean, look it up. I would guess.
49. Yeah.
That's the end of your turn. Were you doing? Did you do the clergy thing or the?
No. Or thing? I must do a state action.
No. Well, you must do the public building, but you may do one of these. So there's no reason not to move the clergy or get a thing because you are doing it anyway. Oh, you didn't pay influence for visiting their office.
No, I didn't.
Which
and it would just be the one.
Yeah, I didn't pay influence last time either. Which would have been 2 for me. So Steve pays 1 influence and I pay 2.
Okay, I'm just making sure I did everything for opening a public building. Rebel cubes, return other the state officials. If you don't have enough, you can't have the rest. Flip the plan, so I flip the plan. And then most officials on plans is a bonus at the end of the game. Score all the stores with the same color. There aren't any. Flip the empty display space with or fill the empty display. Knock over all of my busts. And then everybody else may follow. But the thing I would have done first is move the clergy.
2 spaces here and there.
For 1 or 2.
Yeah. And then you get 1 of the tiles that's adjacent. Yeah, usually they build 1. They have an idea of everything and how they want to do, and then they'll focus on 1 section of the game at a time to make sure it works. What?
Whenever you play a Manuel de Maya card into the royal card, receive 2 rays.
Well, alright then.
Rays? Rays.
Rice. Alright, and then, are you done?
Yes.
I already restocked the decree card. Make sure you draw a card from your hand, and we replace the clergy tile. And then it's my turn. My turn. So, on my turn, I am going to play one of my cards. I have great cards.
You have the best cards.
The best around.
No one's ever gotten a discard you don't.
Yeah. I am going to play this one. 1756, the Constitution of Casa do Risco and Public Works happens. So I am visiting the green official.
Oh, hi, fly.
Yeah, that fly's been in here for 2 days. So I have the option. So first I have to pay influence. I have to pay 1 influence because there's 1 official in his office. I don't have any, but that's fine. And then I can either put 2 officials down, or I can get an architect tile. And I think I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put 2 officials out. And the location of the officials just help drive up the prices for other people. So I'm just gonna evenly dispense my officials to help drive up the price for Steve. Evenly, of course. And then I get to build a shop. Yay! Oh, sorry, my ship would have emptied. But I'm gonna build a shop. Shop. So here's an interesting fact. If I build a shop on a row or a column where a public building exists, I get to score that shop based on the column that it is and the wiggy thingies at the bottom. So if I were to build a shop right here, I would get 5 points, which is pretty good. And I can do a pink or a red shop here if I wanted. Zena. And whenever I have to spend Rais, I get a 1 Rais discount. She might need to go out. Ichi should probably go out too. So, what do I want to build? I'm going to go ahead and build a pink building. Yoink. Oh, this one. Yoink. So I'm going to flip it so that the little thingy is going the right way. And then I'm going to put a house on it. Where I take my warehouses, there's 3 columns over here. Which column I take from, I can take from whichever I want, but I have to take from the bottom. And there are some icons next to stuff that will tell you what you gain for having that spot empty. So this one, I can buy a ship for 1 cheaper if I take this house, like right now. This one, if I produced, I would get 1 additional good from what I produced, which is pretty good. This one I don't get anything, but eventually I can use money instead of influence, which might be helpful. And then like this one, ships are free, and then this one up here, I get 1 additional bonus of every type that I produce. So I think that's going to be helpful in the long term. So I'm going to take this one, just put that there, so I don't get anything right now. And then this building has a public. Oh, I take a rebel cube from the area. I'm going to go ahead and take a fire cube from down here and put it in my warehouse area. Because I didn't start the fire, but I do have a decree card that gives me points for having Fire Rebel at the end. Then I calculate the cost. So it's going to cost me 2, 4, 7, 9, 10, minus 1 because of my bonus. So it's going to cost me 9 to build there. But when I placed that tile, I covered up the 3 influence spots. So I get 3 influences, 1, 2, 3. And there's a public building, so I score, which I get 5 points for building there. So Steve set me up really nicely by doing that. So, yeah. Now it's Steve's turn. After I replace card, he can't follow the action because he doesn't have the right tile. So we replace that. And that's the only thing that got messed with. And I get card. I'm going to take this one. Steve is a team player. He is. He likes to set me up so I can knock him down. Or something like that. Yeah. You resemble that. Night, James. Thanks for tuning in this long.
Everybody sit. Yes, good girl.
Oh, don't forget to close the door. Wishing she would get more of her new food. Abby is 11 years old. No Spielworks game this season. Wow, I didn't notice that either. Interesting. But Abby is 11 years old, and she's been having some issues, and she's lost some weight. So they're gonna do blood work tomorrow. It's not looking. She's just getting old. So she's a crotchety old lady. So she got new crotchety old lady food, and she really likes it.
She just wants love and/or to be left alone.
Yeah, it's hot or cold with her.
She's currently on the chair under the table, wanting to be left alone.
It's your turn! I built that building that you set up so perfectly for me. Thank you. I love you. I'm gonna go eat dinner. You already had dinner.
I would also like to go to the royal court.
Are you going back to the king?
No, but
This is your king lover.
I'm going to place 2... I will say I need to keep looking at this guide to see the correct order of operations, which is fine. So I'm recruiting up to 2 officials, so I'm doing that. I am taking the recruit up to 2 officials action from Manuel de Maya, the builder. Then I am going to build a store. So I'm going to select a city tile.
Edward, have you done your Essen pick list yet? I've been so consumed with reading rules, I haven't noticed who has done theirs and who hasn't.
I am building on the Rua Oria. I think this is going to use up... Rua. The Rua Oria. I believe this is going to use up all my money. Also, these tiles are double-sided. I don't know if Tiff mentioned, but you can place them so the notch faces the side on the street, and yeah, then it'll line up correctly. Okay, so I'm getting the reward, which in this case is more gold, which I can fit in my warehouse. Take a rebel cube from the same column or row.
Oh, you have to put your house on
it. You don't do that.
Yeah.
So even though this is actually going to make it more expensive, I want one of these blue cubes.
Because he has plans.
I do have plans, so I'm going to have a blue cube. I'm going to place it on my board, which is going to remove this purple thing and make it go to face town. So now I can have +1 cards and +1 of each good type in the warehouse. Pay for the land. Okay, the treasure value is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I have a grand total of $15, so I'm going to use almost all of my money for this store. Then I place one of my wooden city tiles.
Did you remember to play influence for going to the office?
No, I didn't.
Me too.
And does this have the things that you get from the houses in the player guide? This is when you produce, you get one more of the same type. And then what was the ship one?
What is the ship one?
One less good for buying a ship?
Yeah.
I would do that one. Okay, then score the store once for each public building. So I am only in this column with a 3, so I'm going to get 3 weights. Okay, I believe that's my turn. And I will redraw.
And restock the building.
Oh, and because of my clergy tile, because I played Child of the Royal Cart, I get 2 raids, so I should have gotten that earlier. I get $2 just for having that.
Okay. And then you get the card. Put your working on.
It is now.
And my turn. Bonk. Okay. I am going to go back to the office of Green Dude. Oh, that one's so good. Yeah. What's up?
Somebody who lives a difficult life.
Yeah. She needed a walk, but it was raining. She didn't want to go out. We all spoil our animals. Yep.
If everybody does it, it's normal.
Yep. So, ooh, a deck builder that plays 2. I don't remember if that's on my list. My list is like 70-something titles, and I'm whittling it down. Like today, I made decisions on 6 of the games on that list. So yeah, it's gone. I'm visiting the green office, and I have to pay 2 because Steve is here now, the jerk. And I'm gonna pick up an architect tile. I believe, yes. I'm gonna pick up blue architect. And then I'm going to build a shop. I'm going to build the skinny green shop, I think. Blue shop, teal shop. On Rua Nova da Princesa. Yeah. So I'm going to build this one here. So I get 2 citizens in an office. I'm going to make public buildings and ships more expensive, forcing Icarus. And then I get a rubble cube. And while I do benefit from red rubble...
How are you making public ships?
A bit of thingy. I mean, you can still do the trade thing. And then I calculate the cost. So the cost is 2, 4, 6, 7, minus 1, which is 6. So I build for 6. And I'm going to use this one to do there. And then because it's on a row that has a thingy, does it score if it's not the same color? No? No. Okay. I don't score.
You do not score.
I do not score. Grrr. Okay. But that's my turn! Ah!
It is indeed.
Yeah, I'm hoping for some surprises on Essen this year. Yeah, we'll see. There's some that I'm sort of just writing off. I'm also, like, I'm being super critical of Kickstarter games, because they tend to be mostly misses for me. So, let's see. I mean, The Colonist was last year, I think, a really great blindside for us.
But that wasn't a Kickstarter.
No, their chat was talking about. There's usually only one thing with blindsides. So, we'll see. Yeah. But I read the rules for Agra, and I read the rules for Transatlantic, and I read the rules, reread the rules for Altapaca.
Did you know that in 1757 a new plan to build Lisboa was approved? So I'm going to get a blue. And I will, that being the thing that I do when I play a card, and then now...
You can trade with anyone.
I will trade with anyone, and I'm going to trade...
Yeah, Agra... There's some weird stuff in Agra, because you have this meditative phase, and when you meditate workers, you move up on the meditative phase, and if you hit a certain number, you get to use meditative points to do, these bonus things. And then in addition to, the meditative points, you can gain focus, which is basically the game throwing you a bone throughout the game. And when you gain focus, you get to take special focus actions throughout the game to do stuff, in addition to your normal action taking. And so it's a little weird to me that they have 2, secondary action things on that. Yeah. It's weird. It's weird to me. But the way that goods are produced on the farms is an interesting mechanic, and I want to experience that. The player markers, and using player markers for good tracking is a little interesting because they're limited.
Trade with the king and move the clergymen. Okay. And then take this, which is this just...
That's in-game points. For every...
No, it's just 7 influence, maybe?
What number is it?
Or tile 20.
20! Aaron 7, yep, influence immediately. Oh. Happens once. Good job. So I'm interested, the board design, the art on the board is gorgeous, and there's very subtle white arrows that point to things, because when you activate a certain building, you have the option of spending additional stuff to upgrade goods from that building. But the arrow, the map is not obvious, the board isn't obvious on what connects to what. So, I didn't draw a card at the end of my turn. This is the worst. I do that too much. Yeah, I'll take this one. So the board mapping is weird, but the influence board is interesting because you track your scores and your influences and the deals that you make with nobles on this board that's angled, that has trackers that are slotted for everybody. So there's some interesting things mechanically going on that I'm interested in, but I'm feeling like the graphic design might kill it for me. The fiddliness in the graphic design. So, we'll see. Okay, I am going to build a public building. Keep leaving up there. Which Steve could copy if he wants. So I have to pay to influence to visit this office. Oh, Steve didn't refill the clergy spot. Great Western Trail has significantly more white space, and so the paths make a bit more sense. There's like no, it's very graphical on this one. So, clergy. Do I want to move a clergy? Oh, it would be great if I had to spend one less citizen to build stuff. What's the other one of those? Tile 30. To pay a treasury card in the royal court is free. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Normally, to play a treasury card in the royal court, you have to pay whatever the treasury is at, and then the treasury increases. I think. So I'm not sure if the treasury is going to increase that. But I want this one, so I'm gonna go here and take this one. And then, yeah. And then I do a public building. So I'm going to use the blue architect that I have to spend one of my representatives because I have a discount. I will spend this one, so they come back to my board, and then I'm going to do this first. Where's the little building back? Thought I gave that to Steve. We'll find out. But this public building I'm going to build here because it has blue on it, which fills up one of my columns. So I put one of my rebel cubes on the Marquis's face, and then I gain a ship token for that, which is great. And I also gain points for my building, which is there. So I get 4 points. So, yay! And that is my turn. But Steve could follow. So we have to wait for Steve to come back to see if he will. Thanks, drop back. No one's shipped goods on my thing, which makes me sad. Makes me very sad. I think I will go ahead and pick up this card. Treasure card. QE. I saw some of your tweets about it, but I haven't seen much more about it. So yeah. Sci-fi historic. I don't know. It's really funny because like I've been noticing that most of my games that are must-haves are games that I feel really confident in being able to get to the table with my more casual game groups. Like, Steve and I really enjoy Lisboa, and we really enjoy The Colonists and Feast for Odin, and like, John, who normally plays with us, he loves these kind of games, and they're great. But we have had less time to play these sort of games, and we also are like starting up a game group with just various people, and the time that they have and the energy that they have to invest in games is much less than we have. So John and Steve and I will have like a heavy game like once a month where we'll play something super involved. But for the most part, most of our gaming is just like hour and a half more casual games. Like games that we can set up, teach, and play in an hour and a half is what we tend to be more playing. And it's your turn, and I built a public building, and you can follow because I was the king, and you have a king token, so I had to wait for you.
Sorry.
That's fine. But, so a lot of the stuff, like there's a pocket version.
But this refills instantly, right?
Oh, yes. There's a pocket version of Castle Fluttershy or Flutterstone or whatever that I am definitely getting. It's on my must-have. Spoiler, because my niece Natalie freaking loves that game, and it drives me nuts to play it with her because I feel it takes too long. But the pocket version is smaller, and thus will play faster. And so I'm like, yes, I will buy this for her. Because every time we go to the game store in Colorado, she wants to play that game because they have it in their library, and I refuse to buy it for her. Because I barely tolerate playing with it, and, like, no one else is. So, yeah. But, like, that's an example of a game that's probably not on anybody else's must-have list, but mine.
Did you pull your officials off?
Yes, I only had to pull off one because of magic reasons. I have a thing. I am going to check out, so over on Twitch, how is this game? How lit is this game? It's lit? I don't understand that. I'm too old to understand the connotation of that. But I am thinking...
It's not currently burning.
It's not currently on fire now. But we really enjoy it. We enjoyed the Gallerist, and we enjoyed this in a different way. Yeah, we enjoy. I enjoy them separately. Which do I enjoy more? I don't think that's a fair question. Right now, I would say this one because I'm playing it.
Oh yay! Okay, so this is just gonna get me 3 wigs.
What here? Oh, because you built that.
Yep.
Oh, then it's a brown. Ooh. Yep. Okay. Also, I am gonna check out Montana. It's on my list. To read the rules for and to look at. So, yes.
And
let's go back to the game camera.
Okay. It is Tiffany's turn once
more. Meeple Circus. People seem super into Meeple Circus. And
and it's my turn.
Yeah, and now it's your turn. Yeah. Yeah. And so now that goes back. And now it's your actual turn. But I have to replenish the clergy tiles. Meeple Circus, it looks really fun and people really enjoy it, but it's one of those games where I think we would get it and then we would play it once and we would be like, this is fun, and then we'd never play it again. I think it would be the party game of the con.
Go in here.
Go in here?
Yep.
Okay.
Influence is 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
can... no, yes. Because you have... Yes.
I can either produce goods or build...
Gonna finish my man. Ooh.
I'm gonna build
Montana has... I will have to watch Rahdo's playthrough of Montana.
So 2 distinct goods. I will spend tools...
It's taken me... Basically 2 hours to finish this dinner. Worth it.
Okay, so now the treasure value goes up, and I score my influence, which is going to be 3.
Why is the treasure value up? Oh. We knew about ship.
Yeah.
Oh! We didn't do it on this one when I built this one. We've been cheating this whole game. Asterix game.
Okay, so that was the build of the ship. Yep. And then taking
the My Little Pony RPG is like super awesome. If my nieces are still into My Little Pony,
this is the thing that lets me
by the time their birthday rolls around,
a second degree.
I'm gonna play that.
This is the thing that lets me take a second degree.
It is the thing that lets you take a second degree. Yes.
Because you're gonna get burned in the second degree.
I'm gonna follow you, by the way. To the ends of the earth. slash on this enter.
Yep.
Montana has a spinner. I didn't know that. I will have to look into it even more now. Ooh, Steve is one rebel away from triggering the end thingy.
Instant replace?
No. End of the turn.
I will take this decree, and this just gets discarded to anywhere.
Yeah. You know, Chad. I could make that happen. I don't have a table of 40-year-old D&D guys, but I could get a group of 40-year-old D&D players of varying genders and gender identities to play. That would be fun. Hey, I think it's Hannah will finally get him. Night, Edward.
Took that.
Okay.
All right. Would you
follow.
like to follow?
I would like to follow.
You can, because that's the spot.
I can.
Xena, keep your nose in your own butt.
Context. Context. I'm going to produce.
Is this you following or not?
Yeah, I'm following. I will follow.
And you will pay influence.
And I will pay 1 influence. Because I'm amazing.
I don't know if I know.
Honey! Do not agree that I be but amazing.
Well, I agree with that.
Oh, wait, no. Did you? Ooh, you did take the. Ooh. Which?
Oh, is this pay 1 less good when you build a ship?
Yep. Which house? Which house is this house?
You know, this has to fight it.
And she's back. No lag here. The only lag here is me. I'm getting tired too.
Xena would like to play it with somebody, anybody, literally anyone.
Please, for the love of God.
Please.
Would somebody play with our dog?
We should invite people over for streams. Not to play. But to play with dog. Xena, can you hold on? This is a Vital Lacerda.
Yeah, it's gonna take like another hour, honey.
That was a really sad look I just got.
I'm just looking at all the degrees. All of the degrees. Oh, 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 kitty, kaiju kitty, come on. Yep, just get up in there. There you go, sweetie.
No, you don't have any drop frames, and our kilobytes are stable, so...
Well, I'm not going to decrease, I'm going to produce. So I produce 1 additional good of thingy that I produce, and I produce blue, so ship goods, and I produce fabric. So both of those are going to drop in value permanently, and I will gain an additional, I'll gain an additional fabric. Cool. And that's my follow action. And then we replenish decrees. Boop.
Oh, dang it, I didn't draw a card at the end of my turn.
Can you replace the gold building up there?
Oh, yeah.
And then also, where's the stack of little buildings?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they're in the box. Flying box. They're right there.
I wonder how that happened.
Oh, I think you give them back to me. Give me back buildings, extra building house. How silly, you silly man. Alright, did you draw your card?
I did.
I'm curious, folks in the chat, if you could go to any convention in the world, any gaming convention in the world, and costs would not be a thing. Like, you would be given a free hotel, free ticket, meals paid for, but you only get to go to that convention. Which would you go to? You have to buy your own copies of the games. But yeah.
Ichigo.
Xena is saying she would go to XenaCon, I think. It's a real con, I tell you.
And
it's
if anybody would just play with her.
Anyone please, for the love of playing.
Dog, I can't let you out because you will tunnel next door.
Yeah, she will. Okay,
I want to go play with my friends.
I want to do a thing, but I can't do a thing. Could do that though. Don't necessarily feel that that's in my advantage. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a card action. So I'm going to do yeah. I'm going to do this one. In 1758, the order was given to build 6 lighthouses. But I'm going to tuck it under, and I get a rubble cube of any color that I want from the extra rubble pile. Extra rubble pile. I'm going to get a barky dog.
I don't think that's a type of rubble, although it causes rubble.
Rubble. I will get blue. Yes. Okay. And then for my actual action this turn, I am going to ship stuff. So I'm going to ship and when I ship gold, when I ship anything, I get extra money, which is great. So I'm going to ship a ship, then I'm going to ship a fabric, and I'm going to ship 2 fabric. So I'm going to do 1 on my ship, and then 2 on your ships, and your ship. You're welcome. So I get 5, 10, 14. And you get 2 points. Your ships are all bumped. You get 2 points, and I get 1 point. And I get 14 rights. And now it is my turn to replenish.
For the ship, do these clear at the beginning or end of my turn?
The beginning of your turn. So they clear right now. In fact.
In fact and indeed.
So Mad Bonus says Origins, BGG Con, or Dice Tower Cruise. Basically ones where there are some releases or vendors, but mostly people are just playing games. Chad is going to do TGM Spring. What's TGM Spring?
You can discard a card if you play over it.
Oh, Miniatures Market. No? I don't know.
You can discard one of the cards in your tableau if you're playing over it.
Yeah.
Okay. The position, in 1760, the position of Police General Steward is created and begins to tackle.
I will say Origins is starting to have less game space. Oh, Tokyo Game Market. Oh, yes, I want to go to Tokyo Game Market. I need to figure out a way to kickstart that. But going to Japan is very expensive for a game show that lasts one day.
Like you do.
Yep.
Okay, I played a card. Oh, what was I getting? I get to place 2. Let's see how these. Place them there. And then I'm going to sell goods. I'm going to put 2 golds into my ship. Flip them over. And then I will receive 6, which is the price of gold, plus 1 for each. So I will receive $14. And I believe that's my turn.
You believe, do you?
I believe.
Do you believe in magic? Portugal. Oh, I totally put that in the wrong spot.
And then I draw a card.
You do draw a card. I am going to... I don't have one in my hand. Why did I do this? This is the worst. That's fine. I get to take treasury actions for free, which is great. So I'm going to play that one. So nobody can follow it, and I either get to build a building or a public building, which is great, but I don't have to pay the influence. I also don't get to do the additional bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and build a shop, and the shop that I will do will be that one. Yeah, that one. So I'm going to build a pink shop. Excusez-moi. I'm going to build a pink shop right here, which gives me an architect plan. And I will take this architect plan, and I'll put it there. And I then get a rebel cube from the Rebel Alliance. I'm going to take the red because it's what I need to finish my road. No! Rebel phase. Da, 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 da. And then I have to calculate cost for building that building. So 2, and then 5, and then whenever I have to spend money, I get a buck off. So it's going to cost me 4. So I do that. And then I'm going to do this one. So whenever I produce, I get 1 of every good. Yahoo! And then it's a pink building, and there's a public pink building here. So I get to score it. So I get 4 points. A push. A push, a push, a push. And then it's the end of the era. So it's the end of the period. And so I complete the current turn, and then I get to do stuff. Yeah. Do we adjust the treasury? I don't have to pay for treasury cards, so I don't think we do. I get to draw a new card. I'm going to draw this one. And then we do the end of phase stuff.
You buy all the red cards.
Can you replenish the pink? So at the end of the phase, each player will get 3 wigs for each completed set of rebel. So I have 2 sets and Steve has 1. So I will get 6 points if you could give me that, and you get 3 points. Okay, and now the red deck of cards will go away.
I really like how the decks cycle in this one.
The purple and brown ship come out. The purple deck is available to draw from, which we'll do here in a second. If you want to shuffle those. And then, oh yeah, that should count it. Then we put the brown deck out like we did the red deck, where we shuffle each stack of cards for its corresponding place. And then put that out.
We've now reached the years 1763 to 1768.
It's taking a long time to rebuild Lisboa. Oh, night, Doug. Thanks for hanging out this long. Alright, so now each player can discard however many cards that they want from their hand, and when you discard, you get a bonus. So when you discard the card, for one of each type of card that you discard, you get to do you gain one of the bottom bonuses. For the people, the treasury cards don't get you anything. And then when you redraw redraw from the purple deck. So it's the only way to get cards from the purple deck. So I'm going to get rid of this king, which gives me 2 citizens, or 2 officials. So I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to put 1 here. And then... Oh, interesting. Do we put the... If you discard a penalty card that has like a cost, you don't have to pay for it. Yep. Pulling out the rule book.
Whoa, the rule book?
Oh, this is cool. Okay. Here we go. Check it. So I get to do this first with the discard, which is important because I'm going to play this one, which lets me buy a ship.
Who starts with the...
Me.
You?
Me. Because I did the Rebel. I'm the Rebel Alliance.
Oh my god.
So I get to buy the 3 ship, and I'm upgrading my 1 ship.
Our members
so I only have to pay
and a trader.
2 goods. So I'm going to do that. And then when I buy the ship, the treasury increases because I'm amazing, and this thingy scores. Wow, that's not worth nearly as much.
Yeah, if you built the first ship, it's more prestigious.
Yeah, I'm gonna not upgrade then and spend my last good to have both ships. So then I get 4.
Your limit is 4 anyway, though.
My limit is 4! You're the best!
Mm-hmm. Teamwork makes the dream
and then
work.
I get 5 points. Yay, 5 influence! Woo! So that's that. And then if I had a green guy, which I do, I can discard my green dude to get a thingy. So I'm going to discard my green dude to get an architect to go in my green dude stack.
That's a plan.
Is the plan. And then I could discard more cards if I so desired. Well, I think I'll hold on to that. Do I want this card? Do I not want this card? I think I don't want this card. So I'm going to discard that treasury card, which doesn't give me anything, I believe.
But you can just get rid of it?
Yeah. Yeah, because you only get noble benefits. So that's me discarding my hand, and then I draw back up from purple.
I'm going to discard 4 cards also. Treasury card, which is nothing. Mr. Green person, which gets me ship tools. Blue, which gets me a decree. And then red, which gets me a decree. So I'm actually going to take the decrees for each building that I build in the D or C roads. I get 2 wings.
Oof. Okay, all these degree cards should have been ages ago.
I just took them.
Okay.
Like seconds ago.
Well, I'm from the future, and I'm traveling back to fix
you're a
the
member
problem.
of the Rebel Alliance, and you're from the future?
Yeah.
You trying to mess up the timeline?
No.
The time police are going to be after you.
How many cannons?
There's a lot of time police.
There are a lot of time police. We need to finish that book series.
I need 4 purples.
Do you need 4 purples? Here. Okay, and now whose turn is it?
You just had a turn.
Your mom just had a turn. If she were playing this game.
If she had that species of bird.
I mean, do we continue in turn order?
We got it. That's all I have to
Yep. Oh yeah, last night it was douchey because you're the one that triggered it off of a follow action, and then you had a turn, and I was like, ah! That was the worst. Alright. So the game ends when one of us completes 2 more rows, or a certain number of those decks are gone. So we are halfway through this game. That's amazing that you're going.
Yep.
Is there a Nerfenstein? Is she here? Was
I
she here earlier?
am going to build a public building, so I'm going to pay the influence cost to go to the green, which is 3. And then I get 2 race. Isn't a thing.
You're not building a public building, you're building a shop.
Yeah.
You said public building.
I said because I'm building a thing.
No, you said public building. You said I'm building a public building.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm building a ship.
Are you gonna do?
You.
Okay, sorry.
That. I will take a group out.
No, it's easy.
And then this point, this thing that I'm doing.
Yes. We're all waiting.
Building a building.
Yeah.
A building is going to be built.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to build that building.
Build the building.
It is going to be...
You're building that building?
I'm building this building, which gets me a cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Base. And then I do.
Rough. Zena would like you all to know that her life is rough.
Yep. I will place that building on it.
Oh my god, this new computer is amazing. I'm running 3 cameras at once while streaming to the internet, and my CPU is at 12%. On my old computer, the CPU would be at like 50. This would not be possible in any way, shape, or
I take a Rebel Cube, so I'm actually going to get one more now because I'm taking this Rebel Cube, which frees up my set. That's it. I still can't remember these. Okay, place order houses for the store.
To brown.
Just for the brown, I get 3 goods. Yep.
Okay. And then I can't. So I won't. And now it's my turn. My turn.
Talking about
my turn. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I am going to go to this dude's office because I really like him. He's like a nice person. The Marquis. I'm going to the Marquis's office. It's the best. And I'm going to produce because I desperately need to produce. And I produce 1 extra of everything I produce, which is great because I produce 2 fabric and a shipping good, and so they each drop down 1, and then I produce an additional, so I'll produce 3 fabric and 2 shipping tools, and then if you...
And they each go down 1 price?
Yes, and only 1, even though they produce more. Sweet. And then, that's my, Tiffany did thing action. I am going to take a decree card. I'm going to take this one because it's perfect for me. I tell you, it's perfect. And then I'll discard one of my rebels, to take this one because it is also perfect for me. It is perfect. You can't follow So that is the turn. Is the Stila turn?
Tis indeed.
Keep saying that. HeroClix is still huge, y'all. HeroClix is still big. The cat is sitting. She has a cart that has her food thing on it, so the dogs can't get to it. And the cart like stores all that stuff. But she is sitting on her cart, very patiently waiting for her very delicious dinner that she likes.
I'm gonna play.
Oh, I'm gonna tweet that we're still playing because
I'm gonna play a card down. I get yet another flop. It's a noble card, and then I can sell goods or trade with nobles. I will trade this cloth to the king, which lets me move the clergy. What is that one? Clergy 30. One day I will learn all of these. Clergy 30. To play a treasury card in the royal court is free. Do you normally have to pay?
yes, you have to pay whatever the treasury value is.
Whoa. Okay, so I'm only moving.
And then the treasury will go up when you pay it, which is great.
I'm only moving the clergy once. So
no.
I will take this tile and we score influence. And then what happens when this is full? You have to kick these out?
Yeah, if you want to get new ones, you can run out, which is fine because you have that red one. So.
Do you get points? What's the thing that gets you the points on that group?
Also, in this happened, he should have. We missed that.
Oh.
When the Pope passed that forever ago, we should have knocked it out. But something happens now with influence.
We score it, I think.
No, because it doesn't score.
I'm pretty sure because it said one of the ways you get influence is by the clergy either passing or when church scoring occurs.
Okay.
So I believe that's church scoring.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
If the cardinal passes the influence icon, does that mean not lands on it though?
Yes. So he has to pass. Here we go. Found it. Church scoring. You may discard one of your clergy tiles and score it. And then you gain points for the influence that you have in your top row. So if you want to discard one of your clergy tiles, you may do so. And then you gain the points on the back.
It's only if he passes it?
Yes. So he has not passed it.
Okay, so I could just put that back and do this. And then I could get clergy. I will then just take this one. So we can discard one to get points?
You may discard one to get the points on the back.
I guess I will do that because there's no reason for me not to. And then score influence. So that's 7, which puts me all the way to 10. And then if you get an extra influence at the last square, is it just a point for every?
It's a wig purse. So I get, well, no, these when you discard this one, you get it in wigs.
No, I know, but I'm saying I got 7 influence from this.
Oh, okay. Yes, you get 1 wig. And then I get 3 wigs for discarding this. So if you can give me 3 wigs. And then I will get 5 more influence, so I also will get another wig for being at 10.
If there is one complaint
I didn't draw
I have
a
about
card.
this game. I also didn't draw cards. You draw first. I'm 2 down. I messed up pretty good.
There's that. And then the end of his turn, we restock.
I will take this one. Sorry for things being a little. There's things to forget.
There's lots to forget in this game.
They're like, it all makes sense and all the moving parts are pretty smooth. It's just, yeah. Like, having played, I guess, 2 halves of the game so far, I do keep forgetting to do the occasional thing.
Hello. Shit. Okay. I'm going to do the king. And then I'm going to do the clergy action. So I'll go here and gain this one. At the end of the game, it counts as a green tile, which is great. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the public building. So I'm going to build this 2 green, which actually only costs me 1 because of reasons. And take this one back. And I will build this one. 2 earthquake tiles.
Of
course. And then what did I give it? Cloth, because I don't have enough of it. Get a lot of cloth. And then pink scores, and I have 2 houses on pink, so I get 9 points. So if you could give me 9 points, I think cat box.
Cat basket. 31 to 40. Yeah, I am having trouble.
And then I need to restock. And restock this one. Alright.
I'm at 22 and you are at 42.
Oh, Kaiju Candy is back. Oh, and she's being pretty. Uh-oh. She's smelling, or is she about to bomb?
Just
I like that she's learned not to walk across the board when it's very busy.
let's see.
From here?
I'm also gonna open a public building.
She did very good walking across.
She did. I'm gonna open this public building in row D. Over here, which gets me 5 race, and to copy Tiffany 2 earthquake tiles. But for the opening of public building, I need to pay the influence, which is 3.
Yeah, it's going to be. I wonder how many people just watch the stream for Abby.
First, I get to move the clergy, so I'm gonna.
Oh, we should restart that tile.
Yeah.
And then the treasury will go up. We spoke so highly of you, Abby, and then your tail to get my clergy. So that'll go up when you cross it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did good. You were doing so good, and then your tail just destroyed.
Okay, so I made the clergy go up. Public construction takes space. Take the building from the same architect. Move the relevant codes. Return state officials equal to the plan, which is 3. But it costs me, it is no longer early game. It now costs me 5. So I get a discount of 2, so I have to pay 3 for that last one. Flip the plan, score all the stores with the same color. They're all done. And then...
Mad Bona watches the stream in order for Abby, Ichi, Xena, and then Tiffany and Steve.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no! Did you destroy the world?
There's only one.
That was there. That's a triple blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was there.
I have built on the triple blue once.
Yeah, because all of those have one missing.
One week we're gonna see a horse on stream. There's a horse on stream most streams when we angle the camera that way. Are you done? Did you replenish cards?
No. Give me that card. See, this is cards? Are there cards?
Do I eat them? Oh, this card is so powerful. So powerful. This one's even better. Such an interesting game, mother.
There are many moving parts, and they're pretty smooth.
They are pretty smooth. Oh, wow. Hi. Oh, no, what has happened?
What?
Oh, no. I think something tragic has happened.
What?
You restocked from that and flipped it. This is the green stack, and it was, or this is the blue stack, and this was green up.
No, was it?
Yes, it was. I literally just flipped it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I did that.
Are these all green?
You know,
are these all blue dudes?
Because it was flipped over,
Yes.
and I flipped it the wrong way.
Okay.
I flipped it instead of rotating it.
Okay.
Fear not.
Dear lady. Well, my hand is somewhat forced. The treasury value is 5. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Which I can't afford. Slink away carefully. No, don't lay down in the middle of the board. Hi. No laying down in the middle of the board.
Night, Chad.
Get to sit there. Oh, she's playing with her sister's toys now at this point.
Anything for attention.
We have a determined Duggo. I'm going to play. I'm going to tuck in this card. Shoop. To get rid of that one. And this card lets me take a decree card when I tuck it in. Leave her alone, Ichi. And so the decree card I'm going to take. Should be that one. So many options. I'm gonna take this one. And then... Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one. In my head, it meant other things. Right? Okay, yeah. No, I will take this one, which is whoever... If you have the most money at the end, I get... Most two are equal to money, I get 5 points. I wonder if I can discard a rebel...
Without a cause?
No, when I do one of these. When I do one of these, if it's decree action, am I allowed to discard a rebel when I take the decree action? Yes. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to sell goods. So I'm going to sell. There's so much cloth. I'm gonna.
You didn't just build this, did you?
The brown? No,
yeah.
You built the brown forever. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So these 3 are cloth, and I get. Oh, I don't get extra money anymore. That's fine. So that's 9, and then 11. So I get 11 money. And
Goodbye,
I get
goods.
4 points, please. And then I get to draw. And I draw the green person. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Willie.
Okay, I'm gonna go visit the builder.
Hypothyroidism, maybe. They're even thinking hyperthyroidism or kidneys.
2.
Susie, just hang
2
out.
influences the builder. Tick plan. Tick a blueprint. Build a building. Okay. So now to build a building, take the one that's here, place that. I get a follow. Take a pink follow. Okay, I can do this.
Wait, are you building a pink
Oh,
or a
no.
gold building?
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
A gold building.
Okay. And you got got your follow.
I gotta take a rebel cube from the same column or row.
Yep.
I'll take the blue. P for it. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, and I didn't get my 2 rates for gold. He loves me so much. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I paid for it, I put a house on it, and then I score it. And then just once for that, which is 5. 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then you can't follow, but I do need a new card.
Yeah, I hope it's thyroid and not kidneys, but we'll see. She's gonna get blood work tomorrow. Xena hopes that somebody would let her outside.
Oh, one of the sacks is gone.
What? When 3 political card decks are gone, the game ends. Well then, CZ. I will play this beautiful gentleman, which is the gentleman you just played. And I will put 2 people in a thingy. And then I will build a public building. And I am going to build the skinny blue right there. So I will gain this one.
Or no, you're building a shop.
Yeah, sorry, shop. Which is still technically a building. And I will gain this architect. And I will do
8 wigs.
I get 8 wigs?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first I get a rebel cube, and I will take this rebel cube. And then I need to pay 1, 2, 5, 6, 5 because I have the thing that lets me pay 1 less still. And then I get 8 wigs. 8 wigs, please. Sir? 8 wigs. Sweet. And then, wait, why? I thought this stuff was gone.
Mm-hmm.
There was a card on it.
Oh, I just didn't flip it. Yeah, it was the last
one. And then I will take this card. And now it's your turn.
I'm gonna replace one of my gentlemen. And I will put out...
Oh, wait! Yes, sorry, go.
I will bump...
Oh!
3 of your people to the plaza.
Ouch. So they don't... Nope, they stay there.
They stay in the plaza.
They don't count towards the influence passive going there.
Yep, they're napping.
They're not napping.
They're napping in the plaza.
Those guys need to go into different areas. You put them both on the king space. Do they always have to go in different areas? We've been playing very wrong in that case. But I believe you. So I have to spread mine out, which means you have to spread yours out.
Which means I have to spread mine out. That makes total sense.
Yes. And you put 2 in?
Yeah, so I do 1 on each then.
Where's the other one you're going to put?
Oh, I put all 3 down. So
okay.
It's going to be 1 on each.
Zena! No!
That you didn't do 1 on each. Yep.
There you go. We have been playing that wrong.
Okay, thanks for catching that.
Thanks, Casey. Okay.
Okay. So now, sell goods or trade with the nobles. I'm going to trade with the king. Move 2 spaces. What is clergy 19?
Ooh!
To follow a visit to a noble
We gain
costs,
influence.
We do. And then to follow a visit to a noble costs no influence. That is amazing.
Yeah. So we gain influence. I gain 7 and I can't gain 7, so I get like I hit 10 again. So.
But do we? Was that clergy scoring? So
yeah.
I could flip one of these to get 2 wigs, which I'll do, which then gives me room to do another tile.
I'll discard this one to gain 3 wigs. 1, 2, 3.
And then we do influence scoring, so I gain.
Yeah. Yes. Did you pay? You
4.
No. Okay, you get 4.
Oh, so
7. Okay, yeah, you hit 10. So you get a wig.
Is it always just 1?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't get 1 per. Okay. Last time I did it, I only just got 1. I thought it's.
No, it's you hit 10, and then if you were to gain another influence, that would push you past 10. Like if you were to gain more influence later, that would push you to 10 again or past 10. You still just get 1.
It's every time you go over.
Yeah.
You get 1. Okay.
It's like the bell. You hit it and you get 10, or you get a wig.
That is less broken.
That's how I interpreted it. I didn't read an example though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and then now that deck is actually gone. Now that deck is actually gone, and we replenish this. Oh, I forgot to put a thingy on the thingy. I will do that one.
Yeah, if your influence marker ends up on the wig icon, you gain 1 wig.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just it's if it reaches
it's
it,
a bell.
not if it goes over. Okay.
No, it's a bell. Okay.
And it's even if it's already on 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
You hit the bell again, essentially. It is my turn. My turn. My turn. My turn. Talk about my turn. My turn. Interesting. Okay. That is That is something. Oh, it's easy. I don't understand the significance of the colored houses.
That means if any player does it. If it's uncolored, it's only if you do it.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tuck this card, swapping for that, which makes it so that I have double discount on officials, which is great. Oh, and then I get the treasury payout, which is 5, and it drops down. And then I get to take an action, and I will. Oh, it's okay, Z. Oh, these should have all. I could ship, but I don't need more money. So I'd like to trade with a noble, but it's not a great. I'll trade a noble. I'll do cloth to the king to take the father king. All right, Xena, do you need to go potty? Do you need to go outside? When was the last time she went out?
You like halfway through the game.
Yeah. Do you need to go potty? Oh, I need to replenish cards. Did Ichi go out too?
Yeah.
Okay. Take the king.
My turn?
Yes.
Go here. Get 2 raise. Okay. Influence cost to go there is going to be 3. 1, 2, 3. That's fine. I'm going to take.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. I'm going to place 2 assistants. Let's do 1 there. And then, oh, no.
Hey, Ian. Oh, hi, Ian. Apparently, we've played long enough that Australia's awake.
Okay, so I've done that, and then I'm going to build a store.
We are enjoying the game, for sure. We keep forgetting things, but that could just be because we're tired.
Hold on. Let's screw this up.
What were we doing?
Ooh.
What'd you screw up? You're building.
I went to him and I'm building a building, but I think I don't have enough money. And there isn't a, like...
You can do this. For everyone you drop down to hit the coins, it's gallery style.
4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I get to remove a cube first, right?
Yes. You do remove a cube first.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11, and I have 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you, you could do it exactly. If you dump
okay,
everything.
yeah, I'll dump all my influence to do it.
Okay. And all your money.
Yep. All my influence and all my money, but I do a gold building. Which gets me cloth.
Ian worked very hard to make sure the perspective of this board is consistent.
And then I'm taking...
Oh yeah, we'll be at Spiel. Are you going to be hanging out at a booth, or are you just going to be floating around, Ian? Trying to think. If there was a booth that you would be at, aside from
I have to do that.
Wherever Lisboa is.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But I score it, right?
You score 3 points, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I need a new card.
Mm-hmm. Free agent is great at Essen, but it's also very hard to track people down when they're free agents at Essen. Yeah, if you see us floating around, grab us and be like, "I'm Ian," and then it'll be great.
Okay.
That goes for basically anybody.
Your turn.
Just don't physically grab us. Just... Oh. We're both like waiting to follow each other on that thing. I'm going to pay $4 to do that.
Nice.
Which lets me do anything.
Oh.
So any
But
of the
I can't
actions,
follow it.
You cannot.
That
No.
is disgusting.
Really amazing. So I'm going to build a public building, and I don't want to get a decree. The choices in this game.
Yeah, I definitely screwed up my last turn.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a public building. It only costs me. I'm gonna use this plan so that it costs me 1 official to do because of my things. But I'm doing this one. You need to go get your pop. Sorry. I'm gonna do this one here, which actually gets me 2 officials. And cubes! Yay! So I get to place 2 officials and I have to pay 1 official. I'm not sure the order of that, but I only have 1 official left. So I'd pay 1 and take him back, and then I get to place 2, I guess. So I'll dump that one. And then I gain for that public building.
Each you said.
I did that. 2 things.
Lay down.
And nothing scores because I built it on a row with nothing. Great, but I got more rebel. Rebel. Holy smokes, that card. Okay. Jeez.
Yep.
Just an FYI, I'm 1 cube away from
Why not?
ending. Okay. When this happens, I'll take this first. And now it's Steve's turn. No pun included actual meetup. Yeah! I don't think we'll be at the heavy cardboard meetup, but we'll definitely, I don't know when exactly the no pun included actual meetup is, but we will be there. For sure. Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna go to the heavy one again this year. I was so tired, because the heavy one last year, I was too tired. Speaking of being tired.
Alright. Doing influency things. I'm going to produce goods.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, the thing that I'm doing is I'm producing goods.
By the way, Ian is the artist of this one. If you didn't catch that.
Hi, Ian. I'm producing goods.
We commented earlier and on our first play how well this game is done.
So you produce goods. I'm producing
visually.
All the types of goods.
You
I'm
are
producing everything.
Okay, so you get one of each. Actually, and then you get one,
so
two.
That's what I'm doing. So I get 3 gold,
and then these all bumped down.
1 book, and then I get 1 more of each. And I have 4 gold. Okay, now that I have produced, I can either sell goods or trade with the locals. I can sell as much as I want.
I mean, as much as you can fit on a ship or ships. Remember, I have 2 of yours.
So I'd be getting points, but
you'd be getting money. Honey.
Yep. So let's do 2 here.
She has really untied that rope. I was gonna braid it back, but not anymore. Zena has learned to untie knots. Did you score wigs for the public building? I'm working solely watch with one eye. There were no wigs to score. There's no shop there in that row for my public building.
Okay, so I'm gonna get 22 money. Or actually, no. These are each 6. So 12. Those are each 7.
They're not each 7.
Yeah, that gets added to each good, doesn't it?
But they're not each 7. This is 6. 6.
No, those are +2 per good.
Oh, on this ship?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry. So this is 7.
7 and 4. So 11 and 7 is 18.
7 and... yeah, and 4.
Yeah. 18 plus 12.
Oh, Jesus.
30. Where were those 10s?
There's 7 here. And I get 3 points for that. Woohoo!
And I get 2 points.
Alright, and then replace the card. And ship MCs, and then I'm going to play this person, which lets me, actually, I'll do this one. So I'm going to pay 2 influence, or no, I pay 2 less, or no, plus influence, yeah. I don't want to buy a ship. Though ships would score influence, which would give me a point, but I will produce goods to drive the prices down, I guess.
Oh, did I?
I did it.
No, when I produced, you moved it down?
Yep. I will... How did you produce and... Oh, because that produced. I think nobody wants this anymore. I think it's done for.
No, I don't. It doesn't go down to the line.
Yeah.
You're out of line.
No, there is no line. I actually don't really want to do anything. I mean, I could produce. I guess having goods might be worth something at the end of the game, I guess. But I just get ships and wigs. So I get 3 of each, which I can fit. And then need to make notes of all the things we screwed up in this game, so I can make notes on the page. Yeah, you figure that out. And then I will take a decree card. So I'm going to take. I'm going to take 4 points. 3. That one keeps you from doing a bunch of points. I'm going to take this one. And then I'm going to discard a rebel to take this one. And that'll be my turn. And you can't follow. So maybe trash.
Okay. I'm going to trash this gentleman and the General Company of Royal Fishing in the Elgard. That bonus is to build the ship.
Yep.
So I will build this. I pay 1 less good type when building a ship. I'm going to upgrade this one, so I am only going to pay books.
You also... Oh, you got rid of it.
So then treasure value is going to go up 1. And then I score influence, so I will get 9.
Yep.
And not the ball. So that was the bonus. And then now I can either sell goods or trade nobles. Producing goods doesn't seem like a bad idea. Yep. I'll produce goods.
Okay.
Yep.
You got 2 remaining?
No, I get 2 books and then 4 gold again.
Oh, we should replenish the gold building up there a while ago. But anyway.
And then that is my turn after I grab.
Well, I'm gonna do this person again. Okay, another 2 influence. And then I won't produce more. Well, I can. But I basically hit my limit. But I'll do it. That fly is getting more desperate. Which makes me sad for him. And then I get decree cards, and I'll discard a rebel, so I get 2 decree cards, which is the best. I'm gonna take this one because I have the most fabric. It's great. And then I'll take this one. And then Steve still can't follow. So that's my turn. Steve's turn. You doing alright? Did you get bugged by the fly? Wasn't everybody. 3 is the limit on the top and the bottom. 6 cards limit all up. Oh, I didn't replenish a card last time. I'm the worst. I'll take this one.
3 is the limit, top and bottom.
3 is the limit of what?
Then I've been cheating.
Oh yeah, you've been cheating for a while.
Well, I thought it was that plus that.
No, but there's only 3 slots. Yeah, you've been cheating for a while. Steve's been cheating for a while.
Alright, then I will... Then I've definitely been cheating, but I'll give myself 3 less.
Just notice Steve's board has 4 on top. Yep.
Yeah, then
yeah.
I'll give myself 3 less influence from last turn.
Did you read it? Yeah. Okay. And then I need to replenish another card. 2 decks are gone, by the way. 2 decks are gone. 2 decks are gone. Da, 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 da. Alright, Steve's turn.
I'm going to pay 5 money to open a public building. And I don't have to pay influence for that, right?
No, you do not, because you're not visiting the office.
I also don't get a follow token or clergy thing, but that's fine. So I will put the public building here. Get 2 red cubes. I will use this, so I need 3 officials. And then the reward that I get that's on the space is a tool.
You are a tool.
Flip plan. And then score all the stores with the same color in the same street or row. So that would be...
Sweet. We get one last round after the in-game
So this is 3 and that is 5.
So 8. You're gaining.
And then... So I could trigger the end of the game.
You could. Yep. And then we would each get one more turn. Oh, here she comes, Cutie. Da-da-da! In-game trigger! And Steve went last, so we each get one more turn, which is the end of the round, and then that's it. So... Very interesting, very interesting.
Finish the current round, so all players take the same number of turns. So who started?
Me. I literally just said that. I said Steve went second, and ended the round.
Okay,
Okay. I'm gonna do... Steve and I are being very mean.
Or it just says finish the current round. So
finishing the current... You finished your turn, which finishes the current round.
Which would finish the game.
No, which would finish the current round.
Oh, then play a final round. Okay.
You're tired. You're tired. Are you tired? Tell me, are you tired? Are you tired? Are you tired? Abby's like, I'm tired. And pretty. She's a pretty kitty. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. So there's like majority scoring for building types. And like we both are getting different majorities. Which is interesting. But if I built a shop, I could break one of the majorities and we would split that. Which might be worth it, but don't know. Otherwise, if I get a blue cube, I get 3 points for finishing the row, plus anything else.
Do we get endgame points for finishing level sets or no?
Yes, we do. Also, this should have been put. This is rough. Because it's like, well, if Steve does a thing, and does a thing, then he gets a thing. But what if he doesn't do the thing? I'm overthinking it. Overthinking it horrendously. And I get so annoyed when Steve does this. I was expecting to have 2 turns, not 1. Yeah. Alright, well, I think I know what he's going to do. But I'm going to play the king, because while he can follow, He doesn't have architect plans. So, yeah. I pay 2 influence, and then I'm gonna do a clergy tile. I'll move the clergy 1 to gain this one, which I don't even know what it does, but I don't really matter. Doesn't matter to me. Actually, no, sorry, I'm not doing that. I am taking, I'm going to take a follow action card, and I have to decide. I have to decide if he's going to play that or if he's going to play that. I mean, he might play a king, just for no reason. I want him to play this one, but I feel like this one makes more sense for him to do because he has rebel, so I'm gonna take this one. And then I'm gonna move Kaiju Kitty.
What did you do?
I took a marquee follow action. And then I'm playing a public building. I'm gonna do this one, and I pay 2 less, which makes it free. And I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it to up here. Trying to carefully balance a kitty, which does that and that, which frees up another row, which is another in-game condition.
What are you knocking over?
No idea.
Ichi, go away.
And no wigs trigger for that, but what's under that? It's an architect thing, isn't it?
Plan.
Plan, yeah. So I'll take this gentleman's plan, and then this restocks.
Okay, then I will follow.
What?
For no influence.
Oh. Well, but you don't have a plan.
No, but I can do a state action.
Yeah, but whatever.
And that state action is going to be with 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I will take this one, which is...
Favor tiles are 2 points at the end of the game if you don't use them.
Oh.
Oh! Yay! So if he picks the other action, I get some points. That's nice.
Okay, well, I'm going to take this, which is whenever you get a decree.
Game point. Yep. I looked at that one.
And I'm going to replace this one, which I no longer really need, which is assistant stuff. But I do not get the points for that because I'm just replacing it, right? Okay. Now it is my turn. Now we see if
I technically take a turn. Damn it. Oh. This is our last stream before Awesome.
I'm going to replace... I'm going to replace this ship, because there's no point in having a ship at the end of the game. It's not a type rate.
Don't know.
Okay, well...
But that one's not worth influence points anyway, so...
Okay, and it'll be the take a decree action, which I can still use one of those to boost, right? But not 2.
No. You can only boost if you go to visit him.
Oh, really? You can't boost?
Yeah, because it specifically says, for...
Oh, for the bonus.
For Marquis to put the minister, take a decree. But it doesn't specify. I think that would be...
Yeah, take a decree. If you have a rebel set marker, you may discard it to take an extra decree.
Oh! Well, I would have done that earlier in the game.
The more you know?
The more you know. But you're doing that so I can't follow.
Yep, that is exactly it.
You score the haul value of your ships at the end of the game, so you would have gotten 4 points for that ship.
Okay, then I will...
Ditch that one.
Yep. Okay, so I will take this one, which is if I have the most blue plan.
You do.
Public buildings.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I do. And then this one is for every blue plan in the east, I guess.
Yeah, which is... Okay. That doesn't matter. I can't follow you anyway. and it's the end of your turn. And the game's done! The game's done! Okay, I need the rules.
This is a lot of fun. I know there are some things that we definitely screwed up, and thank you so much, everybody in chat. It's been like a team effort. Yeah. It's like...
But, yeah, we enjoy it. We enjoyed the other half game we played. We just couldn't finish it because we were exhausted. Alright, cool. So, first things first. We get wigs equal to the sum of the hull sizes of the ships in our portfolio. So I get 4 points and Steve gets 4 points. So 7 and... yeah, okay. Then we get 3 wigs for each complete set of rubble cubes. So I get 12 points. Yep. Boop. Boop. And Steve will get 9 points. Very close, though, to finishing another set. And then wigs for having more stones of a type than your opponent per the following table. Stores, sorry. If you have no store of a particular type, you get no points for that. In a 2-player game, you do the most and the 3rd player. So we both have the most of different types. So Steve has the most gold, so he will get 3 points for that. And then he also has the most brown, so he will get 9 points for that. And then I have the most pink, which is 9 points. And then I also have the most teal, which is 6 points. And we didn't diversify beyond that. So there's that. If there was a tie, we would add the places that were tied and then divide equally. You can only take an extra decree after you take the decree action, but the player rulebook said if you did it via the icon Chevy thingy, you can do it, which is why he did that. If you have a rubble, you may, yeah. So it says it in the player that you can do it if you're doing it via attack action. Then cash out your influence for Ries, and then earn 1 wig for each 5 that you have rounded down. You do not move the influence marker. So I will get 4, and Steve will get 5, which will probably keep him above the most money. So we're not going to discard anything. So Steve has 30, and I have 26. So Steve will get 6 points, and I will get 5 points. So, and then wigs from your decree cards that you fulfill, nobody else can score from your decree cards. I'm going to do that one last. Wigs for having put more state officials to work in public buildings than your opponents. Simply count the total number of state officials depicted on your completed plans per the following table. So whoever has the most will get 15 wigs, and then whoever has the second most will get 2 wigs. And I did very cheap plans, and I'm concerned about this. I only had 9 wigs worth of officials working. Oh, Steve totally got it. Ouch. Steve has 11. So yeah, Steve gets 15 wigs, and I get 5. That might be what brings him within striking distance, as we say. 2 wigs for each royal favor tile you still have on your board. I have 2, so I get 4 points. And then all that's left to track is our decree cards. So I'm going to do that for myself and for Steve. Yeah, Steve doesn't have any buildings on pink or blue, and I don't have any buildings on brown or gold. So we are bad people. So you only get 3rd place if you have pink or blue, but he doesn't have pink because this one's pointing towards gold and this one's pointing towards brown. So yeah. Okay, so oh man, these decree cards. So this one, I get 1 wig for every ship good that I have, so I have 5 ship goods, so I will get 5 points. This one is, I get 1 point for every decree card? For each decree card I have, including this one, I get 1 point. So I have a total of 8 decree cards. That's 8 points. So that's those 2 scored. And then this one, if I have the most cloth, I get 5 points, and I do have the most cloth. I incidentally have 5 cloth. This one, for every house that I own on the teal street, I get 2 points, and I have 2 houses on the teal street, so I get 4 points. If I have the most money, I get 5 points. Steve sold a whole bunch of gold and got the most money, so I don't get that. For every fire rubble I have, I get a point, and I have 5. So I do that. I did 5, but I have 5. For each architect, or for each plan I have completed of the green architect, I get 2 points. Right? Yes. So I have 4 of that architect completed, so that's 8 points. So I'm there. And then my last one is for every house that I own on the B street, I get 2 points, and I own 3 houses, or 3 shops on B street, which is this one, so I get another 6 points. So I'm at 44. So Steve's, I'm just going to actually sit in his seat, because that will be easier. Okay. Oop. Steve, for every house that he owns on D Street, he gets 2 points, and he has 2 houses, so he gets 4 points. If he has the most ship goods, he gets 5 points. He does not have the most ship goods. I did not realize he picked that one up. For each blue architect's thing built on the east side, he gets 2 points. There are 2, so he gets 4 points from that. If he has the most plans built by the blue architect, he gets 5 points. He does, most assuredly. For every building built on the north street, he gets a point, and there are 2, so he gets 2 points. For every building owned by anybody on the green street, he gets a point, and there are 2. They're both mine. And then for every building he owns on C Street, oh, that hurts, which is this one, he gets 2 points. He owns no buildings on the C Street. So, the final score is 144 to 106. Yay! I like that. Steve's gonna be sad. Okay. That was fun. I understand that if we played with more players, it would go a little faster because the decks would cycle faster and rubble would come off a little faster, and there would be some more points happening with public buildings and shops because we all would be doing it. And then there would be more following and stuff. But I really enjoy that 2-player, and I'm totally fine playing a 2-player, and I don't know if I would ever need to play it with more. I will play it with more, but I'm not oh, we need to play that with more players. I'm I kind of just want to keep it just us. So yeah, that makes me happy. Just log in this play, and then I will say in my typical thing that I say, which is, and that's Lisboa! Yeah, decrees are super awesome. That's why I spent the last, 2 of my turns, 2 penultimate turns, just picking up decrees. So, yeah. It's interesting, and I already am there's things that I would do differently in future games, but I also don't feel like I screwed up a lot. And how the rubble lays out, and how the cards come out, and which abilities you do, there's a lot of, things that you can try and do, which is pretty good. It's kind of a typical Vital game in that regard. There's lots of options, but there's some options that make more sense in certain situations. So yeah. This setup, it's really interesting because I know setup took us 25 minutes, and it mostly took me 25 minutes because we had other stuff happening, and I was talking about stuff while we laid it out. But if I were just doing setup by myself, and I can do setup now without help from anything. Setup would probably take me 10 minutes, which kind of stinks. Like, that's a long setup, but it's not that bad. And if we pre-shuffle and we do certain, like, player bags and things like that, it works to help speed stuff up. So that's great. I feel like the teaching isn't bad, and I can improve my teaching script. I feel like the order that I taught helps make sense, where you're like talking about the rebuilding and the getting of points for different stuff. I didn't teach very well. I totally understand that. There are better sources for going and learning. And when you play, the first few times you play, you're always going to forget stuff. Like, we kept forgetting to restock things. We kept forgetting to draw back up. Stuff like that. So, yeah, it's... John would have really liked that. Oh, John, I'm gonna drop this game off at John's house tomorrow, I think, so he can play solo while we're gone, because we're gone for 2 weeks.
And
our house sitter will not play this. Yeah, our house sitter is great, and she plays games from our collection while she's house sitting, and like people come over and they play games. But she would not play this. So.
I imagine I did not win. Yeah, because I didn't get nearly enough decrees, and I didn't get... Because there's a lot of decrees that are like
this is the final score.
Yeah. Decrees that are like for every X, get a bunch, and
yeah. But, no, John would really like this game, so we're gonna loan it to John while we're gone. John, if you're watching, you're gonna get a copy of this game while we're gone. Well, you're gonna get this copy of this game while we're gone. So yeah, but what was I doing?
Oh, this is for every decree you have at the end of the game. Just the clergy tiles for everyone that you get.
Yeah. That one's
Oh, did you get the most tools by the end of the game?
I did, yes.
Darn it.
I produced, like, on the turn before my turn, before the final turn. So yeah, it's, I like it. We played the Gallows recently so that we would have it fresh in our minds. Plus, Steve never actually played the Gallows, and I had played a game at a stupid o'clock hour, and I really enjoyed it, so much so that I, like, hunted down a copy, and then I couldn't remember why I liked the game, because it had been so long. But, so we played the Gallows recently, and we both really enjoyed the Gallows. This is completely entirely different. There are elements that, like, I said at one point, like, the money works like the Gallows, because it does. And, it's basically it. I think that's it for how things work in regards to similarities to the Gallerist, because the Gallerist is all about...
Oh, well, there's also the following. The following is pretty strong in both this and the Gallerist. But in the Gallerist is if somebody bumps you, whereas in this it's you need a tile.
Well, and you have the conscious decision of taking the tile because you want to do something as a following, which you can do with your assistants in the Gallerist. So in the Gallerist there are 4 action spots that you can go to, similar to this game where there are 4 actions that you can take, right? But in the Gallerist, whenever you leave an action spot, you have the option of leaving one of your assistants behind, which are limited. And if somebody bumps your main Gallerist pawn or your assistant, you have the option of doing a kick-out action, which is you can take one of the 2 actions at that location. You have to pay a thing for it. But it's a little similar to the following, but I feel like this following is more...
We've got more
purposeful.
agency.
Yeah, it's more. You have more agency. It's more purposeful.
You can choose when to do it. It's not as controlled by the other players, which is interesting strategically in the Gallerist because you can choose to force somebody to take their follow or their kick out, and it's maybe not as ideal for them. Whereas this is more. I know that if I take this action to my follow, like for example, that last one, I played a card out of my hand rather than. I played a card out of my hand to get the ability to take a decree rather than going to the marquee because I didn't want you to follow. So it kind of shifts who has the following power. Yeah.
Well, it's. I feel like they're similar.
They're similar.
They're similar enough to be understandable, but they're unique. They're different from each other to be interesting if you didn't like the version in one game. That isn't to say you wouldn't like the other version.
One thing I will say about this, just in broad comparisons to the Gallerist, is I feel like this definitely needed that player guide that listed the abilities in text of all of the clergy tiles and the decrees. And I feel like that, because in the Gallerist, everything was a little more surfaced.
And there's less iconography in the Gallerist in general. Like, in this game, there's iconography for each type of action. And then there's iconography for each type of good. And then there's iconography in regards to influence and the gaining of influence, the subtraction of influence, and then the just presence of influence.
Yep.
And the same for money. But the iconography for those symbols are consistent with themselves. So the green plus sign circle, whenever it's green, that means it's good for you. So if it's a green plus, that means you're going to get more of a thing, which is good.
And if it's a green minus,
it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So it's whatever the thing is, cheaper. So you know if something is a green minus, it's on a cost, and you have to pay one less. So even though it's the same, like, good symbol, I know this means I have to pay one less good. And then on the flip side, there is the red symbol, which is... it's either an increased cost or a subtraction of getting something.
Right.
So Ian, I don't know if you are in charge of the iconography, but if you are, you did a fabulous job.
Yeah. Well, plus it's the really iconography for how everything interacts. So there's iconography for whenever you do this, whenever you play this card to this location, you get 2 money, or you pay 2 less, or whatever. And all the iconography for that makes sense, with just the caveat that in those first couple games, you're looking it up every time.
Yeah,
until you learn it, which is fine. That's just like a...
Well, so, like, I don't know, if you go back and watch it, which you won't, but if you notice, Steve is continually looking at the book to figure out what iconography means, which is fine, but I don't have to. I only looked at things that were new to me, iconography, or like a new combination of iconography that I didn't understand. And part of that's just the different types of people that I'm a very, very, very visual person.
Well, and I didn't want to guess, basically. Yeah. I didn't want to have to think about it because there's so much else going on. And it's there. Like, I think I probably would have been a little... Or it's really glad it had that booklet, because otherwise I would have been probably a little frustrated at constantly grabbing the rules and looking it up. So that
and that's what frustrates me about playing games with you. Most times is like, I'll teach it, and then I'm like, this is simple, why are you having to like continually look at the rule book? And I get sick of having to hand you the rule book.
Because one of us looked at the rule book and one of us didn't.
Well, but like, even if you're the one that looked at the rule book and learned from the rule book, you do that.
Yeah.
Just because that's how you process, and you're less visual and yada yada yada. So, the player aid saves our marriage, is what I'm saying. Thank you, Ian.
That's a good way to put it.
No, we don't need a player aid. The player aid in the game is great. It's
yeah. It's the booklet that every player gets. But basically, we didn't have to share it. There's one per player.
Yeah, there's one per player, which is even better, because with the Gallerist, there's only one player aid. Yeah. There's the rules, and then there's one player aid.
But I will say, with the Gallerist, it felt like you didn't have to look up as much. I think that's just the balance. Is this one, you can look up more. Everybody has their own aid.
Yeah.
But it did feel like, because I just played the Gallerist for the first time the other day, and then I was playing my first game of this for the first time last night, it felt a little smoother playing the Gallerist, but just in terms of like the first time, observing all the...
I agree. I agree with that. I feel like if you're going to jump into a Vital game, I don't recommend necessarily having this be the one that you jump into for your first game. The iconography is great, and it is pretty straightforward. And I would say it is straightforward, but there's still a lot going on. So if you're not comfortable, if you haven't played a Vital game before, and or you're playing with somebody who hasn't played a Vital game before, and like they still they struggle with like Agricola or like those kind of things where it's like, I take this action to produce this to get this, and this can give me a bonus, which would make it beneficial for me to do that. So maybe I should spend turns to gain that to get the bonus. Like, this game has more going on than the Gallerist in that regard, because in the Gallerist you have very limited options. You have 3 options every turn, because you can't do the option. You can't take the turn you did before unless somebody kicked you out. So you basically have 3 options, and typically one of those options is just not possible for you because of like you don't have the things or you can't pay for it, and so then your options are more limited, and so you're weighing less every turn.
Yeah, and you're more thinking about what are my next couple turns going to be.
Yes.
In the Gallerist, I think, like, what are my next couple actions, and then, yeah. Whereas in this, it's the amount of... There are many different ways that you could do the same set of actions. Like, if you need a decree, there are... And I think that's part of the fun of the game, is you're like, okay, I want a decree before Tiffany gets it. And I probably want to do it in a turn or two. What are some of the ways I could get a decree? I could go to the marquee, I could place a public building, I could place a store, I could get it as the bonus off one of the cards in my hand.
Are you missing a green architect tile? There's one more blue than green.
I don't know, maybe a green got into the blue or something. But yeah, I think with this game, sort of there's more... The possibilities of things to do in your turn are expanded a little bit. I think also... No, the number of different ways that you can do things is expanded versus the Gallerist.
No, I meant with this tile. Oh, I found him.
Yay. But yeah, so, and also some of the mechanics in this just made a lot more sense and clicked after having played the Gallerist. Like the whole, you can lose influence, or you can step down an influence to get more money. Like that was just... It felt like it was kind of for free because we had just played the Gallerist.
Yeah.
So it sort of felt like this was a step up in a good way.
So Ian, who is very familiar with the Vital's game, because he's an artist for a lot of them, says that if you're not familiar, he recommends the 2016 version of Vinos, and I've heard that before, just we haven't played it. So, but it's on my list to play, and I was going to get a copy, and then life happened.
Yeah.
And those games aren't cheap.
I will say, also, I know...
Also, sorry! Thank you, Eagle Gryphon, for sponsoring this stream. This is a sponsored stream. I will put a thing at the beginning so it's more obvious in the description of the video. Actually, no, there is a thing in the description of the video. So it is in the description of the video. I don't want people to... Yeah. But Eagle Gryphon did sponsor this stream by sending us this copy of Lisboa to play. Thank you, Eagle Gryphon. I also mentioned that in the unboxing video, if you haven't seen that. So... I have covered my ass, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing also, just in terms of, like, it being Eagle Gryphon and Vital and probably some other folks, both this and the Gallerist feel like they are at a similar level of smoothness, well-produced. There weren't really, like, holes in either the rules or the components or head-scratching. Like, it feels like a very consistent, like, oh...
They have the formula down.
They have the formula down.
I think Ian has a part of that.
Yeah. So thank you, Ian, if you're also a part of that.
Yeah.
Great job. So that makes me, like, if there was another Vital from Eagle Gryphon and similar folks working on it, like, for example, Vinhos, I would probably expect it to be...
Good night, my Bona.
Well done.
We have played Kanban, and oh my god. We enjoy it while we're playing it, but, like, every time we sit down to play it again, or learn it, or teach it to somebody, like, it's just like,
It feels like we have to relearn it. We also struggled pretty hard through some early games of it, like, trying to play it for the first time at a convention.
Well, and the funny thing is like, when people teach, every time I sit down to play it, people teach it, and I'm like, yes, I remember this. Yes, this makes sense. And then when we're playing, it's constantly just like, wait, no, I can't do that. Oh, wait, how does that work? It's just, like, super trippy.
Yeah, it's... I feel like...
as in we trip over it, not like it's trippy psychologically.
The struggle in combat, I feel like, is which precise order of actions am I going to need to do what I want? Otherwise, I'm stalled. And that... And just, like, having to sort of think those couple moves ahead so you don't screw yourself up. But part of it is the graphic design had, I guess, more of a realistic look. Like, it sort of looked like a factory.
Yeah, it's too cluttered.
And so things didn't pop off the board, so that kind of added that extra level of difficulty and just, like, what parts of the game flow into which other parts. So I constantly felt playing Kanban, the times we played it, like I'd be forgetting something. Oh, this phase is going to happen. When do we have the meetings again? When do I score these bonus tiles?
Wait, why isn't I thought a meeting was gonna happen. Why isn't a meeting happening? Like it was every time we played, it was a problem. And even when I played without Steve, it was a problem. Which I'm not saying anything about Steve. It's when you play a game with the same people over and over again, you start to wonder if the problems with the gameplay is just your group. Yeah. And then I've played it with other groups, and no, it's not just us. Like, it's other people.
Yeah, and it's fun to play, but it feels like you kind of have to...
See, and people say it's really great with 2 players, but we got rid of it because we just, like, could not, for some reason, penetrate it. And every time I looked at the board, I just wanted to cry. And then, not literally, but... And then Automania came out, and we just love Automania, and it's so simple to play. And it is, like, Kanban boiled back down, like, cut in half.
Way
but it
down.
Still is super... There's still brain-burning bits, and it's a more consumable game in a time period without as much, like, head burning. Like, I like when I sit there and have to think about a game intensely, like Lisboa or Galeras or The Colonist, but I don't like it when a lot of the processing power that I'm dedicating to the game is to figure out the game in regards to, like, the design and the flow and that kind of stuff, and that's what happens with Kanban.
Right. And so, like, for example, with this game, that's why I was, like, constantly looking at the player guide, because I wanted the stuff I was thinking about to be like, what am I planning on doing, not what do these mean? And, like, I just didn't have a problem with, like, looking stuff up and finding that.
Yeah.
And so the fun was basically just, what am I going to do? Whereas with Kanban, it feels like you just have that layer of getting through the game. And it's not necessarily the design. It's just how, like, the design and the graphic design and the rules, especially if you're trying to learn it from the rules.
The rules.
It was just this kind of, like, there was this, like, this... Yeah, this, like, thick soup that you'd have to get through while playing the game. And there's a good game in there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we enjoy it at the end or once, like, halfway through once everything clicks.
But we weren't choosing to bring it out.
That's enough about Kanban. Yeah. Escape Plan, yeah, I don't know much about it. I'm super focused on Essen right now, so anything that isn't dropping at Essen and, like, I can walk away with, and might have to be able to tell people about on the drop of a hat. I'm not super focused on it right now, but I'll have to look into that one for sure. Or
what
make
is
Steve look into
what
it.
is Escape Plan?
Okay. Anyway, it's getting late and my headache's coming back, and I don't know why.
And I need to take those doggos around the block.
And I need to edit more video and make more packing lists and do other stuff for Essen Prep. Because we leave for Essen on Friday. Yeah. We don't currently have a game planned for a stream on Thursday. Nor do we have a confirmed guest. Tony and John are both unavailable. So, I don't know if we're going to do stream Thursday. I feel like for packing reasons, I would very much like not to. But I also feel like it being the last day before Essen might be smart.
Yeah, I mean, it might be fun to do, like, something we've already learned or played. Not necessarily on a stream, but, like, something we're a little maybe more familiar with, and something that's not, like, a longer game could be an option. I mean, heck, we just put it out.
Cornell clusters is how we shuffle cards without riffing them and damaging the heads. And they also work really well for mini cards.
Well,
because they're hard to riff.
It's not as much of an issue with this game, but sometimes I like to do multiple types of shuffling, especially if they're, like, streaks.
Yeah.
Just to, like, separate out the groups. I played half a game of TTR Europe.
Today at work.
Today at work, immediately came here and played this, so it was kind of a, like...
It was good scaling.
Good scaling.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that we have that is, like, an Essen release that we haven't already streamed. There's things, like, we have things, but, I think we're just not going to do a stream Thursday. I have a video dropping tomorrow about how I plan for convention prep. It would, in my opinion, be better as a vlog, as a podcast. But I don't have a podcast. I have a video cast.
I mean, there is stuff over there I would really like to stream.
I am not streaming on Thursday. There's that. But that video will drop. We do not have Marco Polo. We do not. I don't know if we've ever owned Marco Polo. I don't think we have. Play something Halloween-y. I think the most Halloween-y game that I always want to play every year on Halloween is, for some reason, King of Tokyo. Don't know why. Maybe because it's like, we play as robots.
More Thunderbolt Apache. Yeah, I can play Thunderbolt Apache later while you pack. And I might not make it on the plane to SM.
Yeah, you will not make it on the plane. Our flight is Friday, afternoon. It's at, noon. And we have to do a lot of prep in regards to the house. And we have to pack. And we have to... And she's like, what do you mean your flight? So I'm going to claim that time for packing and things. And Steve is not allowed to get out of that. So, because he's already probably going to work late to wrap up before his vacation time. Yeah. But next week, on Tuesday, there will be no stream. Because we will be in Europe. We will already be in Europe. We'll be at Essen. We will be fresh at Essen. But there will be some videos, including my most anticipated Essen games that will be coming out. Oh, yes, Kabuki Kid. Do you have Space Empires 4X, Steve?
I do not. That is... I think that's GMT. I think I've heard a lot about it, and I have... There's some other epic space games that we have that I need to play. I remember I was looking at it, and I was like, no, I really need to play Imperium with Tiffany.
You just need to play anything.
I just need to play anything.
We will be doing daily vlogs, vlogs from Spiel. Yes, we will be doing daily vlogs, and we will be doing deep dive interviews on certain games. And we will be doing something else if we can get all of our ducks in a row, which is also why we will not be streaming on Thursday. So yeah, we have some pretty fun plans for Essen video footage, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be bringing our beautiful streaming camera and my laptop, and we will be doing evening punches and live streams like we did last year, but we'll be doing live streams, and we might even be streaming from Essen in the evenings. I would like to stream on Wednesday, potentially, maybe even Thursday, from the hotel that we're staying at, because I think the Wi-Fi is solid enough to be streaming on Wednesday. Some of the titles that we have picked up, we'll pick one title and probably stream that.
Yeah, we might just have to tweak settings, bump down the upload bandwidth, and maybe do a test stream, but do a test unboxing or something to figure it out. Yeah,
we'll do punchings or something. Somebody said something on Twitch, and the mouse is upside down. Twitch, Psycho Raiders for Halloween.
To play a Halloween game.
Oh. Yeah, we don't have all that. So yeah, stay tuned next week. Also, if you're not a Patreon, I would recommend being a Patreon for the Essen time period, maybe. Hint. Because there will be some Essen exclusive Patreon content in the form of random things.
Probably some posts or some updates.
You will get early access to game deep dives. You'll have updates. You'll get updates on what we picked up from the con and what we will be having for streams coming when we get back from Essen. You also will have access to the daily vlogs where we talk about what we did at Essen. Not the daily vlogs, but the daily sit down and talk in front of the camera and be really tired as Steve falls asleep on the bed.
That's what I do best.
Yeah, we had those last year. So if you are not a Patreon, this is the show of the year that we're doing this year, and I'm kind of going big. So support if you like our content for this month would be fabulous. And you can set caps on Patreon. So if that's your jam, you can do that.
Sorry, I just keep watching that
Yeah.
one fly.
We do have the Halloween expansion for King of Tokyo. I also have the Halloween pumpkin trains for Ticket to Ride. So yeah, but Mysterium, we don't have Mysterium anymore because we didn't have the Polish one. So yeah.
And it was...
The American Asmodee one just wasn't as interesting to us. So, plus 2 players.
Well, plus the very first times we played the Polish edition, it was taught to us by people that had read rulebooks in different languages at a con. So we played these like weird amalgamated.
No, every
versions.
time.
Yeah.
No, because we were taught by a group and everybody had been taught differently. Yeah, from reading different rulebooks or having been taught by different people. So the why are there now more greens than blues? What is happening?
Is there a white tile?
There's one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
That's what I thought.
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay.
Thank you for watching and hanging out and chilling with us this long. Thank you for watching this really long stream. This is 3.5 hours, but you know.
I wonder if my coworkers are still playing either The Expanse or Seventh Continent.
Probably not. I hope not. Yeah. We played the American version with the Polish rules, but yeah, we just don't have groups big enough for that.
Yeah,
And our groups aren't interested in that kind of game anyway.
It needs that bigger group.
It's a good con game. I like playing it at conventions.
And it's usually in a library.
Steve did miss the 7th Continent game. He only had like an hour to play games at work.
I had an hour, and it was either basically sit in and watch Seventh Continent, watch The Expanse, and not play, or play Tickets to Ride Europe and trains. I don't think I won, but I did finish 2 of my tickets before I had to drop out early, and they were also cool with me dropping out early. So
That's good. Yeah.
Which I asked beforehand. Yeah, I am interested in what the deal is with those other 2 games, but I'll need to ask my coworkers what they thought.
We are not getting 7th Continent.
Which is, and I know 2 people that own it, so it's basically gonna get, if I play it, it's gonna get played that way.
Yeah. It's not a game I'm interested in at all. So.
Yeah, everybody has character flaws.
I'm not gonna get the games I was gonna get for you at SN now. They're just off the list. I'm gonna go mark them right now. I'm not interested.
Thumbs down. Yeah, no, it's interesting a game like that, which is very niche. Some people very, very much like it, and it's like a very much love it or hate it.
I don't think I would hate it. I just don't think I'd like it.
Love it or don't.
Well, I don't.
Well, see, it's polarizing.
There's more than love and hate in the world. Not in Abby's world, but in our world. It's the thing that like kills me right now in the game industry, is that people are really like, there's no space for people to just think a game is good and not be either intensely passionate about it in one direction or another. Like, you can't just enjoy a game. Like, I have so many games that I just think are good games and I enjoy them, but I don't need to play them again, or I don't need to own them. And like some people take that as a translation of like, oh, you don't own it, oh, it's not in your collection, you must hate it. And it's like, no, I don't feel like I need to have it in my house.
Yeah, well, and there's plenty of times where it's just like it's good, but maybe it's the lighter version of something that we already enjoy, or it's the version it's like something we enjoy, but it's not good with 2, or we like a game that's 2-player only that does something similar. Like there's other
reasons, but I mean, it's like food. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you're like, oh my god, this food was amazing. I'm going to eat here always, and when I come here, I'm only going to ever order this dish. And I have restaurants that I do that at. Like, I do that, but there are restaurants where I get different things every time I go, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this dish was really good. I think this time I want to try this one. Like, there's no...
Yeah, if you don't order it, it doesn't mean you hate it.
Yeah. Like, there are some dishes that I will not order because I will hate it, or I do hate it, and that's fine. And then there's, like, there's a Mercado that has, like, Latin American food carts just down the way, and I will only eat one thing from that entire facility. Actually, 2 things. but I eat them together. So, and like, the cart was closed that I get my thing from, and we went there one day for dinner, and I was just like, and Steve got me the same dish but from a different cart, and it was awful, and I hated it, and I was like, this is the worst. I'm never So yeah, you can have that reaction about games, and you can have that reaction about things. It really is frustrating for me when I tweet things and I'm like, yeah, I'm playing this. It's really fun, and people are like, oh, cool, you love it, I'll buy it. And I'm just like, no, that's not how it works. Which is one of the reasons why I have started recording reviews again. So, yeah. But, she's just looking at pause.
Taking a pause to look at pause.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, my most anticipated list from Essen, I'm putting a lot of work. I've never put this much work into a most anticipated list. I'm actually reading every rulebook that I can, and I'm watching videos for everything. And if it's on this list, it's because I've either played it and I know that I love it, or I've read the rules, or I've watched some sort of content. So if there's a game that there's no information about, I am downgrading it in my list this time. She keeps doing that. Something going on with your butt? Did you go potty? Alright, anyway. People definitely want people to love what they love. Mm-hmm. That's 100% a thing.
Yep.
If you don't love dogs, you're no one.
Well, there's that. But yeah, if we don't love a game that you love, it doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
You can still love it even if other people don't. I know that sounds really patronizing, but it's yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like people love. There's so many games out there that I just do not want, do not care for.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean it's I'm
and
not
I don't
trash it.
Yeah, I don't trash it, and you're not my enemy if you like it. It's a game. Yeah. So. Anyway, this has been a nice evening of chatting. It was a good game. It was good company. Steve excluded, but
I now have a weird desire to play more TTR because I played probably the least cutthroat game of TTR that I've ever played.
Oh yeah,
because two of them hadn't played before.
Have you all ever played with my family?
No, we've played in our group Reels and Sales. We played once or twice, but yeah, it was really weird to play a game of Ticket to Ride that was friendly and inviting. And yeah,
I play those games of TTR just not with my family. My family is so cutthroat about TTR. Coolies, have a fabulous rest of your week. If you're going to Essen, have a great Essen. If you are having isn't Essen, I don't know what the no Essen is hashtag, but
Nicht Essen.
Nicht Essen. That's a good one. If you're
Nicht Essen.
Yeah, if you're doing Nicht Essen this year, I hope you have a great Nicht Essen, and I will do my best to produce as much content for you as I can. My laptop is no longer the physical constraint in regards to rendering and producing videos while I'm there, which it used to be, because we have a new laptop. So now the constraint will be the bandwidth. So we are going to be producing the internet, the physical bandwidth.
Well, and of energy.
Yes. So I am not probably going to be able to do one-day turnarounds on the vlogs, but there are other videos that we are planning to produce that I will be doing one-day turnarounds as soon as they can upload. So there'll be that. And so I'm going to do the best I can do with the time that I have without making myself horribly ill like I did last year and every year ever. So yeah, this new laptop is great. It's doing so well. I am rendering a video, or I was going to render a video that will be live tomorrow, and it normally would take 2 hours on my old laptop to process, and this one was half an hour. I can do it then. And I was just ah! So, yeah. Anyway. Thank you for sticking around, Kabuki Kid. You're awesome. Thank you, anybody else in the chat, or if you're watching this not live and you are watching it later, thanks for sticking around. Also, thank you, Eagle Gryphon, again, for sponsoring this stream by sending us this game. If you are interested in potentially sponsoring a stream for us to play, send me an email at theonestar@gmail.com. and we can talk shop and things like that. And I mean that for like not just companies. Like if you send me a game and I agree to being like, yes, I will play that on stream, I'll mail it back to you. Like we don't keep all of the games that get sent to us. That is not what we do. So yeah, I'm just putting that in. Because sometimes people are like, play this, and I'm like, I don't have it, and I don't know how to get it. So yeah. Okay, awesome. Good night. I will see you in Europe. Oh yeah, good luck. She's getting blood work tomorrow to Kitty Betty. I'm hoping it's not kidneys, but I have like this sinking feeling that it's kidneys, which makes me sad. But she like does other stuff well, so I'm hoping it's thyroid. I'm also just hoping maybe she just ate something bad. Anyway, okay.
She was just having a...
No. All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Night.